Tradertv.live. Futures back in positive territory on this holiday shortened week. The NASDAQ just up slightly, 0.17. Crypto coming off a little bit now in the red. A little bit of headlines coming out of Apple. They will be banned from selling any of the Apple Watches, the Apple Watch 9 and the Apple Watch Ultra 2, as the Biden administration refuses to use its veto to overrule the International Trade Commission's decision on its watch, as well as some news coming out of Tesla as well with respect to deliveries. Intel also getting a big boost from the Israeli government, $3.2 billion for a new foundry set to be built in Israel by 2028. Tradertv.live. Sorry, just completely. Yeah, let's see if we can do this a little bit better this time. Yeah, NQ up 0.18, guys, above 17,000, that critical level, breaking through this morning. The ES as well, above that 4,800 level as we do that dance with the 4,800 level. The 10-year down as well, guys. Good morning.
Good morning. Hope everybody had a fantastic Christmas. Spent time with the family, did all the good stuff. I didn't even realize it, but we're doing like the festive thing, a little green, a little bit of red. But look, it's a holiday short week, but there's actually some action today. I mean, Chinese EVs have gapped up. I know Sharif should be happy because Li Auto leads my board, at least in terms of percentage gainers on the day. That is going to be in play, up 8%, as you can see. You talked about the Intel story. We'll have some Apple. Well, I'm looking probably fades on Apple. I feel like it's been like that since it got to that 200 level. And this old Santa Claus rally thing, are we actually going to get it? The market's up 0.15. Now remember, all it has to be is up in this week and then going into the next couple of days, right? So at the end of the day, like if we're up like 0.5% over the Santa Claus rally, then technically it's fit the bill. But it hasn't been a huge move just yet. And it was kind of muted on Friday. So I'm not really expecting fireworks out of the futures. You got to be in the right individual names, I think, here.
Yeah, I mean, Santa Claus rally started only on Friday, so we'll wait to see if it kicks through today. Look, it's going to be a good day, obviously, here today. I've been waiting to say it, but happy birthday to Neil. I've seen some people on the chat already that have remembered that, so that's good. Happy birthday. I was waiting to say it to everybody there. There it is.
We don't like that one, Fabian.
I don't mind that one. I like that one. I like that one. So yeah, Neil has to work on his birthday because Brendan's off all week. He's back on Friday?
He's back on Friday. Brendan's back on Friday, and then I have Friday off. Going up north to visit the fam.
You mean you don't have Friday off and have to come in and film a podcast on your day off?
Yeah, what you gonna do?
A podcast, pretty fun. Check the latest episode out, episode number 6. Happy birthday to Neil. Happy birthday to the market. It's another day old. Oh yes, I have it. I didn't open it. I have it open. I have it here, thanks to Obi.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah.
It's great. It's great.
Is it actually? It just heats the bottom,
Dude,
and then
heats the bottom. This is my first cup. It is still just as warm as.
That's funny that you mentioned that. So I want to say thanks to Obi for this Christmas gift, as I came here on Friday and saw it in here on my desk. Thank you to Obi. The turtles, Obi, my kids ate those immediately. So those are all gone. Thank you so much. There's no better. You know what I didn't get a lot of this year? I didn't actually even have one. Those Ferrero Rochers.
I was going to say exactly the same thing.
Have they been like blacklisted or something?
I didn't have a single one either. So for whatever reason, we have all kinds of candy, but we know Ferrero.
I'm always nervous about these things. I feel like I'm going to set it on, like someone's going to set something on fire. Like I'm going to put like a piece of the sticky note's going to get on here.
They're pretty safe. As long as your mug's on there, you're good to go.
As long as the mug's on here. Okay,
I think a plug's going to be an issue, though.
Oh, by the way, I got like 5 or 6 different members of my family Yetis and stuff like that. They're all... I got to buy that stock. Roblox, by the way, you've seen that stock going crazy today again. So that's really good. I saw my credit card get billed another $15.99 or something for more Robux. That was really nice. All right, I'm gonna go set this up, and it's gonna take me all of 30 seconds as I plug it in. But all right, Sharif, you got your coffee mug warmer up there or what?
I got it, Sean, but I think I need another one, man. It's just it's that kind of day. All right, guys, Intel, I preface this at the top of the show, getting $3.2 billion from the Israeli government to build a $25 billion foundry. It is not the first time that the company is investing in that country as they look to expand heavily their foundry business all over the world. We've seen where they're going to expand in Germany, big plans there, as well as 2 plants under construction in the United States. Intel up decidedly this morning, 2 1/3%, coming into that critical $50 level, guys. We're a little bit below that right now, $49.20 here on the chart. Nice day for Intel. What is the look here?
To the moon or to the window?
Yeah, definitely.
That easily?
No, I didn't. There's not going to be a plug. I'm going to have to wait to figure out.
I had to unplug something that I was.
Right. I just don't want to, I don't need the show to go dark right here.
Because for anyone that's, look, obviously there's a lot going on at our desks here. You got cameras out, you know what, and then multiple monitors. So there's plugs are at a premium. We'll find one for you there because this thing is fantastic. Intel, look, the stock just continues to go up and up. The fact that it has a catalyst today puts it in a bit of a rare category because you're not always going to get news catalysts this week. So I think you just want to stick with trending stocks. This has a little bit of both. It's got the catalyst. It's got the trend to the upside. The fact that they're getting a bit of a deal for this foundry, obviously good, but you know that that's a big piece of what's working for them, at least in the U.S. as well, because they're going to be getting some help from the chip bill as well to keep things domestically. So they're kind of winning on a couple of fronts there. You broke out the 47 level already. 50 is an obvious psychological level. The bigger resistance on the daily chart's kind of up here at 52.5. So you got room. There's room for it to go. The key for me is, well, every single even dollar has been a test. If you look at the 15-minute chart, how clean is this? There's your 45 level, your breakout, and then you had the low close on the higher low was pretty much at the 46. Hold on to 46 last week at 30 on the Thursday. Breakout 47 on Friday. Close at 48 on Friday. So, suffice to say, I'm looking at the even dollar levels as my keys here. If it can't hold 49, I can see all the reason why you could dip back into the 48 price level. Once it gets into that gap, I'd be looking for it to shoot almost the entire thing. If it holds on to 49, play 49 into 50 on Intel. Don't sleep on the other chip names. We'll get into this in the rundown as well. But, since earnings, Micron should be on some watch list. It's been trending in the right direction. Kind of a big reversal back through the $80 level. And then it broke it out on Thursday through 83. Higher low there at 86, and it's trying to go. It probably has room on the daily as well, but it's pretty much taking at a huge level here at 87 on the daily chart. You go back a little bit further, and you can see on the way to 100, there is still some room to go on this daily chart. The trend on these two names has been pretty steady for the majority of this year. We'll see what happens next year, but for now, I think these are two continuation plays for me.
Yeah, look, Intel being down to 48, 49 bucks. That would be fantastic to be able to get those kind of buys. What a great move this has been for Intel over the last month. $32 back October 25th. I guess it's 2 months. Huge move upside. Even if you go back to November 30th, which is down here, 42 bucks. We really respected that 50-period moving average. And now you're starting to get back up to the upside again. So there's 48. I wrote down 48 or a break of 50. It's pretty simple. I don't need to get involved right now. It's only 8:40. So I feel like there's going to be some trades around 49 bucks, just back and forth here. 400,000 shares. It's great to hear. Was it $3-4 billion from the Israeli government as a loan, plus a guarantee to spend more money over there? I don't know. Better to be more diversified in the areas of where your plants are, of course. So I like this move. I think it's a good swing for chip names. We just talked about Intel, NVIDIA as well up here near 5 bills. Look, I really like SMH. We've talked about that, or SOXL. I feel like there's a lot to be involved here. And I just want to say, how's Michael Burry doing right now if his largest position is a short in SOXL? All these things are really, really starting to get excited again right now with AMD taking out some of those levels. And there we go. So, let me guess. I'm going to hear something about, Michael Burry got out right here at $28. I don't know. But anyways, we'll wait to see what happens. You're still up here 32 bucks, and it's really starting to rip up. So, yeah, I like the chip names. I think, heading into the new year, we talked about this on the podcast. I think the things that work are the things that are just continuing to work, right? So chips continue to be the thing here. We had a good news with Sony and everything, selling tons of those PlayStations. Gaming is going to be hot. We're going to talk about that. So I think there's still Bitcoin, there's gaming, there's AI. These chip names just continue to work, man. And Intel's really one of the best one of the best this year, I guess. The bottom was $25, up to $50. So it's been a great year for many of these names. And I think the train just keeps on rolling here, Sharif.
Yeah, bang on, Sean. And the group as a whole, the microchips semiconductor group as a whole, they're all green. No red names on my board quite yet. All right, staying on theme here. ARM getting a price target upgrade overnight by Rosenblatt from 85 to 110 bucks. ARM has been very strong as of late. Up again today, coming into that critical 73.5 level that we topped out on Friday, but making newer highs and newer lows. I know it's a competitor, Intel, but what is the look here for ARM, if any?
Have to ping an arm and a leg for shares of this company. Bad puns are what it's all about here. Finally, see, there you go. Usually I have to hit that myself, which isn't a good sign. We do it intentionally, but ARM is trying to make that next move, and you're pretty much in uncharted territories. I've said this before about the daily chart when it comes to ARM. This on the second day didn't really happen, so you are at all-time highs. This was a company that's been around for a while, so the valuation, while it is a bit rich, new money has been eager to come into it since they've had their earnings. They do offer potential competition down the line. To NVIDIA, that's very much down the line in terms of alternative technology. But the trend is your friend, man. It's kind of ridiculous to think about anything here on ARM that isn't looking for a long entry, because the short opportunities have only come at obvious, clear levels. When it got to 65, that was an obvious and clear level, and it was a good short. When it was at 56, that was an obvious and clear level, and that was a short. Well, it's at new highs, so there hasn't really been a resistance spot to even think about. So you've been buying dips, taking breakouts. 75 is a good psychological level, so I suppose that could be it. But it's setting here for a 73.50 break. If it breaks Friday's high, I think I would just look for a long into 75. If it fails this double top, it's not quite as obvious where I'd want the long. 72 looks okay because that's where we closed. I much prefer the 70 level. You had a double bottom down there. You had more trading mirrored around that, or back and forth off the 70 level than anything else. So if it were to pull back, I'd probably wait very patiently for a dip by $3 lower. Otherwise, don't be afraid to join the trend. This is the kind of stock at 10 o'clock, it looks like it wants to be going, then you just want to join that trend. 75, sure, maybe look for a short there, I guess.
Yeah, I mean, I really like ARM. I probably won't be trading it, but another really great name that I feel like, we've sort of talked about it. There hasn't been many great IPOs, but that one's definitely worked. So I still feel like if you're in that name, there's probably no reason to sell it. I mean, it's, wait for the next report to come out, see if it can justify some of the valuations that it's currently having. And then, a lot of the names right now are obviously going to be forward-looking in that space. So I would just say wait to see if they sort of guide or surprise guide or anything comes out. Micron came out in like November and guided a little bit forward, met and beat those expectations as well. So yeah, ARM, Micron, all these kind of names, just secondary names. And that's why I keep saying it, like, you can get your money into some ETFs and not worry about it. But ARM's really been working up above that $72 mark. I think you always play sort of long off of key levels, which would be $70. So any kind of a dip buy opportunity there, we'll be looking at that, but not on my radar, but another great name to just probably buy and hold.
Bitcoin, guys, down overnight, holding that critical $42,000 level, but really not being able to break that 44,000, 45,000 area that we've been flirting with overnight. Coinbase as well, down 0.44. Mara, some of the mining names also down 1 1/3. But interesting story coming here out of MicroStrategies. So listen to this. The company's value now comes from its Bitcoin holdings, almost $5 billion in increase in market cap this year because of the 337% that's their Bitcoin holdings has soared in 2023. So interesting here that MicroStrategies is getting a bit of a boost from Bitcoin, as Neil was alluding to that story a little bit earlier.
Yeah, I mean, what are there, like half, I guess half the market cap, technically speaking, is a Bitcoin? Because it's like 9 point something, whatever it works out to, it doesn't matter. MicroStrategy, it's a weird stock because I think a lot of people just treat it like an ETF at this point, which makes you wonder when the real ETF happens, does it matter? But in terms of Bitcoin specifically, we did fail the 44,000 level, and fail's kind of too harsh. Can't say we failed though. We've pulled back from 44,000. But if you go to a higher time frame chart, it still looks absolutely fine. The one thing I want to look at today, at least the level, if we don't talk about 44,000, is 42.8. If it gets back above that price, if Bitcoin gets back above that price, I think you could have some kind of a long rally in a couple of these names. But when I look at Coinbase today, I see us at that 175 zone. So we closed 175.5. You kind of made the break. You tried to get to 180, failed it. Now you're at 175-ish. If we don't get back above that lower high resistance on Bitcoin, I mean, I could see the 75 being kind of a key fade zone, and maybe you could get a pullback into 170. Coinbase has been on an absolute tear. I'm not saying it has to come down, but there hasn't been a pullback. There's been a couple on the way up, but there hasn't been a decent one. It was a small one, I guess, at the end of the day on Friday, but then it still closed higher. So I think it's a little bit due for a pullback on coin, and failing under 175 makes a little bit of sense to me here. So I'll have this one on the radar. It's probably not the first place I go to at the open, but beneath 175 or the 175.50 close at least on coin, I'd be looking for the short. Keep an eye on Bitcoin if you do. Obviously, if that starts breaking out that 42.8, then you've run into some trouble on your shorts. Never want to be fighting the trend in a stock like this, which has been exceeding the pace of Bitcoin to begin with.
All right, yeah, Coinbase going absolutely ham, and we had that story for you like back when Coinbase was like $100, and I asked Michael Noss what was going on with that, and then he said that he spoke to Adrian, and then it was that a lot of these ETFs and whatnot are not claiming, but they have stated Coinbase as being the custodian, and where they're going to be going over and buying and holding all of their Bitcoin for all of these ETFs. So it makes sense you're going to be getting a lot of flow through on that, but I don't know, I still don't buy it. So I sold any Coinbase I had. I sold some HUD 8. We talked about that. I've got out of everything. I was like so happy to make a little bit of profit. I think it was 17% or something on that HUD 8, but I held it for probably 6 months, and finally the reverse split, and then it was going crazy, and I was like, get out of that. Here, let me just talk about what that was quickly before I talk about Mara. So here's HUD 8. I got out of it. We missed that last move on Friday for sure, because I got out on Thursday. Here, I think it was 12.80 or something. Now it's up to 15. But I didn't understand the action here in HUD 8. So, reverse split up, then down to $9, then right back into 13. So I did sell it. So I am now out of that one. But a name that I am not out of nor in, which is kind of been a huge move, man, has been Mara. Mara is still 25% short float. Finally, looks like it wants to come down. I mean, there was a day or so where it looked like we wanted to break back below, but now you are well under. I mean, it's $26. That high, I shouldn't say well under, that high is $27.80. Mara really continues to go. And another one that we talked about on the market recap show and live on this show as well, when we had Michael Noss. I don't think he's coming through today, but we talked about this down here at $10, where we were starting to swoop up, and that if we ever did get a big move in Bitcoin, we had done the work, that Mara could explode, not only due to the short float, but just due to the fact that this is what happens. It's one of those kind of meme-y names out there that people just keep talking about. So Mara back here into $20 would be fantastic. I don't think it happens today at all. With Bitcoin being down here, I have it down 2% on a 24-hour or on a 10-hour chart right now. So it is coming to the downside a little bit. That 25.50, I'd say watch out for that on Mara. So I think a break lower, you could probably get short and use 26 as your stop. So we'll have to watch Bitcoin today, but definitely Mara has to be on someone's mind.
On watch today, guys, up 4 3/4 after releasing the designs for a new high-end vehicle. They're calling this one the ET9, and it's going to be for a cool $112,000, whatever that is in yuan. Here is the look at the car. I think it's a looker, man. I mean, it kind of looks like some of these more traditional SUVs that we've been seeing. They're saying it's a high-end executive SUV. I don't hate it. I got to tell you the truth. I think NIO's been going in the right direction as of late. What's the look?
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. Like, it looks nice. I'll definitely I'm not going to harp on that and say it doesn't look like a gorgeous looking vehicle. NIO, unfortunately for them, well, maybe it's a fortunate thing, I guess, if you're trading it now. It's just been, like, it's been the lazy of these names. And when I say lazy, like, it just has not participated in this move. When I'm talking about this move, I see a lot of the other beaten up stocks. Maybe it's not all the EV names, but certainly the bounces and the charts look a heck of a lot better on pretty much all of them. I'm talking about those big three in China, with the exception of NIO here. However, it's been making this nice little move into $9. It's at $8.80 right now. If it breaks $9.30 is the last overhead resistance, then you maybe fill this gap into 10. So I like the $9.30 level. I like the $9 level on NIO. I just know that when you get numbers out of China, you got some registration numbers, and then we gap up, typically speaking, the stock has a tendency to dip at the open. And when that's the case, like you get a gap up in NIO, I'm usually anticipating gap up, there's dip and rip. It's just usually how this stock likes to participate. Big gap up, dip, doesn't actually rip, but it does hold the low, and that held the low at previous high going back to last week. So if it were to dip, first things first, you can think about Friday's high, and then I can think about where we close at about 840. I like the 835 level. Friday's high is 860. So those are some areas where I'd be looking for some dip buys. It's just the pattern of the stock. Chinese ADRs do this all the time, where even if you get good news and eventually there's going to be buyers, it doesn't mean they buy it at the open at 9:30 and it goes straight to the upside. A lot of times you get the exact opposite. So I'll go dip buy hunting in NIO. But if it just goes $9 break some point later in the day, fair enough. I'll take that too.
Yeah, I don't mind. I mean, I don't mind the $9 up here. I don't know. I'm just not convinced about all of this, but I think it's at some point it's going to be EV time. I just don't know when that time is. You know, Rivian's still doing really well.
Want coffee?
I'm okay for coffee, but yeah, I go. I had one already. I'm almost done 1.5 here. I don't think Randy. I think a lot of people are off today, so yeah, we have to battle for our own coffees around here. $9 right there. I don't know why this chart's not growing on me here, but I like that. I feel like a lot of consolidation down here near 8. So like everything Neil said is kind of just like Captain Obvious at some of these levels, and it's just like we talked about with Intel. 48 looks great, 50 looks great. $8 down here looks pretty good, but can you get to $8? That's 10% down. So the answer is no. This is not going to drop down 10%. So we shouldn't even really talk about these levels. So then talk about something you could actually get filled at, maybe in and around here, 830, 840. You know, let this come back in. Does this get to zeros on the day? I don't know. That would be 840. So I'm still pretty positive about the market, although we're under VWAP right now. We're under the 50-period moving average. We're trying to get under 17,000. I know I started this little thing about saying I was positive about the market because I am. I still think Santa Claus rally fully intact. It doesn't mean it needs to go up all 5 days. But, you know, we are on the move here in the market. Let's see if we can get something going. That's why the sticky note is now out, and there's only 3 names on it. It's Google, Intel, and Roblox, and they're all pretty obvious with their levels. Could have added NIO on here. We'll see what we're going to be trading today. There are some names that are moving around. Other than this, some little small ones as well. So we'll look at those. But right now, let's go see if we can get some more trading ideas with upgrades and downgrades.
ARM getting a nice push to the upside after an upgrade from Rosenblatt Securities. We also have CMS Energy getting an upgrade from BMO Capital Markets, Modine getting an upgrade from D.A. Davidson, and Knife River here getting an upgrade from Siebert Williams Shank. For downgrades, UPS getting a downgrade from Daiwa Capital Markets. This one's interesting. We did have FedEx earnings last week, and that was a little bit more weakness from this kind of sector, so keep an eye on this name. Allo VIR getting a downgrade from Bank of America, Paychex to the downgrade here from Citigroup, and last but not least, Truist Financial downgrading Omega Healthcare, guys.
All right. Thank you, Adair. All right. So I was actually looking at this. Yeah, Adair. How's Adair gonna? That your voice? What's up with that? Yeah, I have that problem too, man. I talk way too much as well. So shout out to Adair for that. I mean, when you go back and you have so much to say, they're probably all like, "Man, who's that handsome co-host?" And you're like, "Neil." They're like, "No, Sharif, no." And then they actually meant me? No, just joking. Okay, so down to the downside right now. I just look at FedEx here. I know that UPS got downgraded, but I want to find the 200 period because look, we're sitting right on the damn thing, right there at 245. So this is going to be close, man. I mean, I do want to think about buying some FedEx. I mean, this looks right at a good level. I think like all of us, we haven't really spent enough time probably over the last couple of days, analyzing some of these most recent moves because we've been busy doing things. But I like that move, and I do like someone in the chat was like, yo, take a look at Nike. I wasn't here, obviously, for their report there, but yeah, huge move down as well, back down into this 108 area. I'm looking for a 110 break longer there on Nike if that can get going. But because we're talking about upgrades and downgrades, I didn't think there was too much volume, and there's not. Like, hard for me to talk about UPS and where I think this is going to go, but again, they haven't felt that FedEx hangover, it looks like. So UPS today on a downgrade, I think we could probably believe it. Down to 157, down 1.8 or down 1%, 0.8% on very little volume. So for me, I think this is a short now, especially because of FedEx. But yeah, there wasn't too many interest FDX, not FSX. Oops. All right. New York. We just talked about this. I just like this because of the 200 period moving average, guys. Honestly, where we're at right there, this is a nice little level. It goes back, and there's something here. So FedEx down there at 245. I think there's a possible buy. So we'll see if that can hold. If it can't, then I would think you would short maybe UPS on a downgrade. But 2,000 shares.
I like Nike hasn't done much volume either, but as a day two type play, it was obviously, you had to take this dip buy on Nike pretty much at the open on Friday. Like, that was your only chance. I did like 107, but at basically what happened at 9:30, it did one little dip, got to like 107.40 or something like that, and then went absolutely ripping. So I think the 107 level is intact. It put in a nice higher low here, just around 108. It could easily be another bounce and rip type play just because it's making a recovery. We've seen retailers do this where you get the gap down on earnings and they say a bunch of bad things, and then the economy ends up being fine and it's way too much doom and gloom. So I think this could be that case. I'd love to see it. Like we said on Friday, the 200 period moving average would be great if it breaks it out. But if it holds on to 07, I do kind of like that as well. And there's some small caps. I see some people throwing some small caps in there that we have our eyes on. The IINN, SNTX as well. They'll be in play. But Nike, give it a day two, day three. The longer it holds on to 107, the more I like that area.
3-day play. I just want to say shout out to Edwin there in the chat. Apparently, and hey, look, thank you. But it's more you that did it there, Edwin. Apparently, I said short FedEx up here at 280. So thank you for bringing that up, but we say a lot of things, and remember, so that would be great. Like, if I said short at 280, man, it hit the 200 period. I would think the out would be at the 50 period, but now that you're down here, I still think that this is worth taking some out. So Edwin, if you're short this name, on you, but remember, like, just because like Neil and I said like, we like the long NIO at $8, like we're talking about these things mainly for, unless we say it, mainly for day trades and stuff like that. So that's why it's hard sometimes to say like, we called this short or this or that. On, like we said about on the market recap show, I do talk a lot more about longer term positions and where you might want to buy things once they get to certain levels. That's why when we had Chris on, he keeps talking about when we called Pan W, when we called Microsoft 360, some of these other things that's been happening. Some of those are longer term plays for sure, like Pan W down here at 220. When it came back in, we called that move for the upside, right? And so a lot of these plays you have to take in consideration, unless we sort of state like, hey, this is like something that we think is going to be a longer term play or whatever. Make sure that you do understand that Neil and I on all the positions that you're going to see flashing here at the bottom or whatnot have to be flat at 4 o'clock on a prop floor. So, that's the whole thing. I don't want people to think like, FedEx is this monster buy because we're at the 200 period moving average. I'm just looking at it from a daily. You might get a little bit of a bounce down here at 245. So for a trade of the day type of stuff. Yeah, see like NIO being in your 401k, yeah, it's like little things like that, right? Like just because it's coming up to $9 doesn't necessarily mean like, empty everything you have because $9 happens to be daily resistance.
Fire it up.
There's so many things that are daily resistance that all of a sudden become support. And then you're like, why did I sell it when it's like way up, like Coinbase? Like, why did I sell that thing at 160? or whatever. So, okay, let's go. Whoa, I'm in. What, did you guys lose a bunch? Oh no, I'm in. Okay, I was gonna say, here's the Streamlabs points. I'm 9th. I didn't think I was anywhere near the top. And on that note,
I've already lost once today.
Yeah, I'm gonna spin 5 bills right now. Let's see what happens with 500 points.
Well, if you win, I'm gonna spin because logic.
Let's see, lost. Oh, that's good. All right. So
well,
thanks, Streamlabs. There goes 5 bills right there. Let's put on some more shares now because I'm pissed.
You know what was happening last week?
Not really.
This is what's so fun about the community, is every single time that I would lose, then like someone would then gift me.
Yeah, wouldn't that be nice if it was
And then
trading?
I would actually win sometimes
Yeah.
after spinning, and then you just gift it right back. So I feel like almost giving the gift is what makes it work. But we're in a gift-giving season, and that
Everybody's
means looking
spinning
for other opportunities out there, including the overall market there. Sharif?
Yes, sir. Before we look at the ES, though, Neil, I got to mention this IINN. Inspira Technologies up over 100%. It's one of 3 triple-digit small cap gappers that we have on the day. Inspira announcing 95% accurate results for HYLA blood sensor, planning FDA submission for clearance in 2024. This news item came in at 8.45 and then it shot up, breaking through that $3 area. 3.20 is the high, breaking down though, Neil, below VWAP now, coming into that $2.40 area. The other small cap gapper running up over 100%, ARBB. Not seeing a catalyst on this one, but trading at VWAP, holding that breakout level quite well above $2. Keep your eye on this one. Third and finally is RYZB. This one is the recipient of a merger or an acquisition, I should say, by Bristol Myers Squibb, saying that it's going to acquire Rise Bio. I don't even know how to say this. Rise Bio for about $4.1 billion or $62.50 a share, which is 104% premium over Friday's closing price. This level right here, just south of 31, $30.50 is where we closed out on Friday, and this is where we're trading up here, $61 area. Any look for any of these 3? They're all over 100%.
So, I mean, like our RYZB, it's a cash deal at $62.50. When I've looked at these and you talk about, oh, that's our RYZB. IRBB, like to find key levels on this one, just to jump a little bit here, unless it's an even dollar level, the $5 level stands out and not much else, like maybe 275. But it's just not a heck of a lot when it comes to like big key levels. But RYZB, because it's a cash deal, because of the way the deals have been held up a little bit here, and it's such a huge premium, time value money's different because rates are going to be higher. At 62.5 cash, I think it's a fade into the price. I mean, if it gets close to 62, I'd be looking short. So, you know, that's when we talk about gappers and runners. If it's a cash buyout, then you cannot necessarily expect the same kind of movement, regardless of float and short interest and those types of things. So I think you want to be looking at ARBB and then IINN a little bit more closely. Those will be a little bit more active to trade. INNN, if it can hold on to the $2 level, that was a nice little double bottom in there, and you can see some pretty decent support or resistance at that level that could turn into support. It's on the pullback right now, so holding 2 would be interesting. It does 4 million volume. I like the volume, 1 cent spread, so it's got all that good stuff going. Just has to hold that $2 level. That'll be pretty key for IINN.
I don't know. I just refilled my coffee. I have no idea what people are talking about. But I don't trade those buyouts. Okay. I just got another coffee, so I wasn't sure what we're talking about. I don't trade the buyouts, but I assume that was good information. So, yeah, if you guys want that, I think it's a very specific trade to be, you got to have a lot of buying power with some shares and everything like that. So if it's up your alley, man, that looks like a good one. I heard Wayne talking in the back that there was a couple good buyouts today. So, definitely have some look over there. We'll still stick with the movers, but there's always different strategies to trade, and that is the one best thing. Well, there's many good things about being a prop floor, but you're using other people's capital, so you can sort of level up on different strategies that you may not be able to outside of an office like this. So, all right, let's go back over to the desk and see what Sharif is up to.
Yes, sir. Okay, time to look at the future, Sean. Thanks for that. 48.05, where we closed out on Friday. We're above that right now. We're at 48.10, up 0.11 on the ES. The overnight high, 48.15. So here's a look. If we can maintain our level above 48, let's look for that 20th high, 48.25. That is the crest. We weren't able to break above. Let's get above that 48.15. First support at 4,800, guys. All right, make sure to check out the watch list there. We update it every day. Adair sends that out, and it comes right into your inbox or on the website, whatever floats your boat. Gets me ready and organized for everything we got ready for today. All right, let's go right into the first topic. Apple on watch this morning as the Biden administration refused to institute their veto and override the International Trade Commission's decision to bar Apple from selling any watch that includes the oxygen component measuring the blood oxygen level. This was left to the last minute, possibly here to be vetoed, but it looks like as if they're gonna go through with this. So Apple, the only ones the Mag 7 name down 0.4% on the day, below that 194 level, guys.
I was sort of just asking Sean. I mean, Sean's got the iWatch. We know some people that have it, but it's like, how many people care about that feature?
I don't know. I mean, I got Marissa the 9. She had the 6 or something, so I got her the 9. I don't know. They've been banned in the U.S. That's the only place that they're banned.
Yeah,
they're not banned anywhere else.
So what you probably do is you pull some well, he said this on Friday, I guess, already, but I'm repeating myself. You probably pull some sales forward into next year in the U.S. on this. Is anybody, if they have to, I don't know, if they have to tweak this or if they don't get a deal or whatever it might be, is anybody not going to purchase it that would have? I don't necessarily think that's the case. I think you're in, and it's not going to make a difference. It's just a matter of when you might have to buy it. So the market, I don't think, is going to be punishing Apple that much for it. It just has more to do with, like, my sentiment on Apple has more to do with what's been happening since that 200 level, which is it's been pulling back and it's making the stairs to the downside. It has been a downward trending stock, more or less, with the exception of the 18th. You've been pulling back since the fail to break the 200 level. It got to like 199 and change. The 198 then held, 197 the following day. Now you got 195 and a half as resistance in there today. So if it's going to continue this little stair step to the downside, it kind of broke ranks by holding the absolute bottom on Friday. But then you saw what happened at 2 o'clock. You got one of those little bit of a dips, and then that one was bought back up. So I want to be fading into 195 and a half. If you can break underneath the previous close, I don't mind joining a trend underneath. But every single day, it's been look for the pop, look for a mini pop, look for a pop to fade. Like the last 3 trading days in a row, they haven't been as big pops to the upside to fade on Apple, but that's what I want to be doing. And first shot will be 195, probably give it to 195 and a half. Love the company. Love the stock, but since it failed 200, it's been sliding to the backside.
Yeah, I mean, it's, you know, we've said this. It's crazy that it's at one. It's not crazy that it's at 193. It's kind of been here forever. But we talked about that trade even when it was up here. We talked about this last week. We talked about the week before. As soon as it gets to 200, you have 2 choices, and that is to hold, like everybody seems to do with Apple, or you can get out if you're nervous and get back in once we break that 200. As soon as you get to 3 trillion and some key levels like that, it seems like Apple just needs more catalysts to get going there. Obviously the watch story is not a great one, but like I said, man, I already spent the hundreds and whatever it is on the new watch. She seems to like it. I just feel like that is Apple's sort of thing, right? Just keep everybody in the ecosystem. Everyone's buying. We talked about this actually on the podcast as well. It seems like everyone's buying some kind of a wearable, whether or not it be the Whoop, whether or not it be Fitbit, whether or not it be the Oura rings or these watches or whatever. I think it's going to be a thing, right? And especially this blood oxygen, I feel like that's somewhat important, especially as you get to medical grade devices and things like that. So I feel like, you know, all this matters. Apple's wearables are absolutely huge. The revenues in the wearables is like more than like Starbucks and Costco and Nike and all this, all like individually as companies, and this is just like now a brand new area for them. So I still think you go long on Apple. It's just a matter of wait for that next catalyst in order to, you know, really see a break of 200. Other than that, I could see us floating back down. I've already called a a little bit of a dip. I think there could be like a 5% swoon or something like that coming in January on the whole market. So you take 5% off from here, you go down, and then you figure out whereabouts Apple could land. I think Apple's been trading a little bit weaker than the market, obviously, in the last week or so, down 6 of the last 7 days or something like that. So I feel that Apple does, have some more room to go to the downside, and then when it goes down there, you'll just be buying it up anyways. So wait for Apple, maybe 185 there. The 50 period makes a little bit of sense to me.
The Apple wearables and home accessories unit did $8.28 billion in the third quarter. So you're bang on there with respect to comps with Starbucks or whoever. Next story on the docket, Intel, guys, getting $3.2 billion from the Israeli government for a new $25 billion chip foundry that's set to be built in the south of Israel. In exchange for that, Intel promises to spend about $16.6 billion in the Israeli economy, buying goods and services from local suppliers and providers. This is not the first time that Intel is expanding outbound outside of the United States. We know that they're spending about $33 billion to build a foundry in Germany, in addition to the $100 billion they're spending on the 2 foundries in the United States. It's up nice on the day. The market receiving this information with open arms, 2.19%. Intel leading the chips to the high side here, guys.
Yeah, I mean, if the long goal is to compete with TSMC in the foundry game, then you've got to have the ability to distribute and be across the globe, right? Like you're trying to cut into a market share which is, I mean, it's ridiculous between the 2 Asian companies that control like 90% of the foundry business. And so it can't just be a domestic thing. Obviously, it's a solid headline that you're going to be able to do it a little bit more cheaply when you cut some kind of a deal in this particular case. But this is not anything terribly new when it comes to Intel. If it sees 50 today, as we already went through some of these levels, if it sees 50 today, that's an obvious psychological level. And if it gets to 52.5, that is the next big resistance on the daily chart. But the trend has been your friend. We'll see if it can hold on to 49. We talked about the 48 level. Obviously, that's where you close. So if you go filling in the gap, you got to be patient. Holiday shortened weeks in general, but in trading in general, you want to be patient. Like there's nothing significant in between the 49 and the 48 levels. Either it's holding 49 and look for like a long drop, fail to break down and break underneath that pre-market low, rehold the level, and it's kind of like the pop and drop trade, which I like at a pre-market high, where you could pop under 49, immediately recover, and then you go long off the 49 level, or I just wait in for 48. It takes a lot of patience to be able to do that, but we should talk about some other chip names as well. AMD is at the 140 level. If you've been trading the last few weeks, it's been a good inflection point for AMD. If it's above and holding above at the open, I mean, longs in the 141 make a lot of sense. But this is the kind of thing where if it fails, every time it's failed to hold that level, you've gotten at least $1 or $2 out of that trade at the open. Underneath that price is a big one. So this is trending underneath. This is not something where I want to be fighting AMD underneath that 140. I don't want to fight for longs unless it's 138. I don't want to be fighting 139.5 or any of that nonsense. It's the 138 and the 136 levels if AMD can't hold 140.
Yeah, I really like that AMD level. We've been talking about that 140 for a minute. We're going to have to look at that. All right, I just wanted to come over here. First of all, check out the podcast. Episode 6 is now out. Of course, every single Saturday. Saturday what? Jedi? What'd you say?
Episode 6, Return of the Jedi.
Oh, Return of the Jedi. That's a good one. We should have put that on here. Okay, I just put down here same kind of thing, man. Intel long at 48, possible $50 break. I feel like it's good. We only have Google, Intel, Roblox on here on this sticky note. These are going to be names that I'm going to be looking at as well. We have a couple numbers that coming out, home prices coming at 9 o'clock. Not much happening there. Check out this, man. This is getting 31 likes, 1,700 views already. Check out Bitcoin. We talked about Bitcoin here already today. So in 2010, of course, it was 25 cents. I mean, amazing. 2011, $4. As you keep going all the way to the upside, you're seeing right now this is going to be its second ever highest close on Christmas. So a close. I mean, it doesn't really close, but 43,000 going all the way back to 2021, where basically that's when we mooned, right? So you're at 51, 50 and a half there. So you're not too far away if you held this asset or these coins or token or whatever you want to call it, Bitcoin, this currency there, 50,000 last year down to 16,000. What a good swoon that was, up to 43 again as Bitcoin continues to work. We had Intel on here, and I just saw some stuff in the chat. I actually, someone's messaging me. I actually also, shout out to Alan, SneakerCon. What's up, guys? Hope you guys have a great year as well. There was some talk here. I mean, look, we're not going to, I am going to get political here just because of Intel, and it's a story about Israel, right? So it's just, you know, going there into Israel. I could see, there was some, we talked about this last time with a boycott a little bit there, it seemed like anyways on Starbucks, where it kept on going to the downside over and over and over and over again. I don't think, what I was going to say about this story is, I don't think there's enough, I don't know, pressure on Intel for this move. I don't really see it. I mean, I feel like up 2.5% is a pretty good. If they want to sell it because of some of those political views there, maybe they shouldn't be partnering up with Israel or whatever. That's going to be up to everybody else to decide that. I just think looking at the strength of this stock, a pullback into 48 makes sense to me. But I could also see traders not wanting to buy it because of its geographical location of this story. So, I mean, I just think that that's unfortunately what happens. And is it unfortunate or is it fortunate? I mean, the market's based on supply and demand, and I could see there being less demand for this name due to this move into Israel. But, I mean, for the stock market, I think it's full steam ahead, man. I mean, they're the right space, the right name, with a good story. So I feel like Intel should work from here.
It's always different when it's a consumer brand. You worry more about a consumer brand, I think, for stories like that to affect it. Like in the case here, like you'd be more worried that our investors not going to want to look at the stock.
I think that's not.
And it's not necessarily like the type of people that invest in Intel. I don't know. It's kind of an old head type name, so I don't necessarily think it falls as much under risk of that as well.
Yeah, it's going to be interesting to see what happens there. All right, guys, next on the docket, Tesla releasing their weekly China deliveries, 18,500 cars delivered last week. That's a 1.09% increase from the week prior when they delivered 18,300 cars, up nicely on the day here, up 2/3%. Another headline coming in on Friday that they're recalling, and I use that word really loosely, 120,000 Model S and Model X vehicles in the U.S. due to a risk of the doors unlocking and opening during a crash. And by recall, I'm talking about an over-the-air update. Neil and I joking off camera this morning that my phone has had several recalls this week, as it has had several over-the-air updates, guys. What is a look on Tesla?
It is kind of stupid that this is the way that they classify this as a recall, because that's the way you talk about it in the industry. Well, if you don't have to take your car in and there's not any inconvenience and it's not a high cost, like, okay, so no inconvenience to the user really, and at the end of the day, the cost is limited because of the way these software rollouts happen. And what are we even talking about here? So we're throwing it out as a catalyst, but you don't need to have a catalyst to trade Tesla. Tesla's the kind of stock that doesn't need individual catalysts to be on a day trading radar, which is good, because it gives you something to go at pretty much every single day. And the 255 level, I don't think this is any rocket science. Just go back the last 7 trading days, 255 resistance, good breakout, then late afternoon resistance on 88. It broke out that level the next day and then held it as support. It then held support again on the 20th, broke down and flushed on that Wednesday. You then closed right back at the 55 level, another opening challenge at the 55, and we're right back underneath 55. So it's simple. Tesla gets above 255, look long. Tesla can't get above 255, look short. And then the other name I look at is going to be Rivian. Pretty much every single time I'm trading EVs, Rivian's important. $24 on Rivian. Thursday and Friday's highs at 24 is resistance there. Shout out to Trader Luke, who's been mentioning 23.60 as a good price on Rivian. As far as a dip by 22, if we get to 22.5, it's been a good support level. I don't know if you get that dollar flush at the open, but that's another key level there on Rivian. So you're waiting at that periphery, kind of ready to pounce when you get the key price levels on something like a Rivian. Whether or not you can get down to 22.5, I don't know, but that's a good level. We had a lot of trading done, and if it were to drop a buck at the open, decent place to look for a bit of a bid.
I do see some people, what's up to Chef Joe and everything like that, who's in the chat here, looking at Alibaba a little bit. Yeah, you know, again, I still think this is going to be a name, man, that we're going to look back and be like, oh, wait, we should have bought this down here, even where it is right now. You know, if this can get figured out, like I said, it's just about the worries about China. We know Charlie Munger. Oh, I said I would look that up. Is it Dan Loeb? There's another big guy that's in Alibaba a lot. I tweeted it out. I'll go back on and find that. But again, I just feel like once you break here and you get all this garbage out of here, then once you break through $80, then Alibaba's off to the races. So it's got to get going today at 77 if it's going to break 80. So nice little move straight to the upside. I don't know really what's causing this. The market is making a move down. We can look at, you know, I don't think it's going to be, actually here, let's look at PDD or something. I don't want to look at something that's necessarily a EV name because of Alibaba. But yeah, see, so Pinduoduo not doing anything, Baidu as well. So this could be name specific, which it looks like it is with not too much else happening here in any of the other names. So Alibaba looking really good, man. Real clean, almost as if it's open right now. 200,000 shares, nice move straight to the upside, keeps on going. I think Alibaba definitely needs to get looked at here down at $76. Let's see if we can get a little bit of a pullback as we'll check out the imbalance locator just to see if there's anything going on there. No, man, we've got Bros, that's for sure. That's here right now, $31. Yeah, not much else. Unity, Palantir with a sell, which is kind of interesting, I guess. I don't know. Palantir is really not at the levels yet for me to sell anything. I mean, I'm not selling anything of this. I want to buy more down at the bottom. CRM, I mean, again, these are all very, very light volume. You could have, not that you could have, you will have a very, very light volume week, but doesn't mean that there's not going to be wicked opportunities to trade. It's just for right now, 8,000 shares done on CRM. So, you know, you really got to watch out for that one. The new guy at Berkshire is Canadian. Oh, that's nice to know. What's his name? D. Westermeyer. I can look that up as well. But yeah, that's pretty cool. What, one person dies and they just replace it with a new person? I mean, I feel like there's a lot of new people at Berkshire all the time, but that's interesting to see. So
I think it's a guy that was there before. I forget his name. I was just I forget the guy's name, but I think he was there before.
yeah, okay.
I think it's like he got promoted or something.
Yeah, that would make sense. All right, let's go back over to the desk. It's 9:21, 8 minutes to go.
Yeah, interesting look here on Baba, Sean. Interesting that you point that out because it's getting a nice move up out of reports from China that 105 domestic games are going to actually get the approval of the regulator. That comes as amid reports last week that there was going to be a crackdown on online gaming development by the Chinese regulator, which caused an $80 billion market downturn in the Chinese ADRs. But Baba popping up nicely today on the new headlines. All right, guys, next to Bitcoin at 6-day lows below 43,000. ETH also down into that 2,200. No specific news on the name or any reason why these are all moving down, but Coin also getting it to the downside as well, 0.82% for Coin. The mining names as well, all red. Mara down 2.25%. Riot, same thing. What's a look?
I think when you look at Bitcoin, we sort of talked about this. I just want to look at the key levels, and if you get to those prices, maybe look for if we break out at 42.8, I suppose Coin can break 175 and go to 180. That's a key price to look at. But I just see that 42.8 on Bitcoin and then the 44,000 level, and those are kind of like the anchor spots for me when I'm looking at the overall charts. So in terms of Coinbase, we talked about 175 over under. If you break out that 2.8 on BTC, I think you can run, and then 180 is your resistance on Coin. But for Mara's been a bit of a different story in terms of just how it's a little bit more parabolic. I guess that's the right word. A little more parabolic than Coinbase in the latter stages of this run. So it's been the stronger of the two. I've generally speaking been looking for the longs the last couple of days. I mean, Friday was another good day for the long on Mara. Can it break 28? I don't know. But if we're taking out some of those levels, I would prefer, and Bitcoin, I mean, I prefer to be looking long on Mara as opposed to waiting around for a fade price on Coinbase to get in there. So I still think this is going to provide you with some good volatility. It's got the better short float of the three name. Well, it's got a better short float than Riot at least. If we're going to get something breaking out the 28 level, great. Want to acknowledge 25.5 has been a good support level. If it were to be able to hold that at the open, I'd only be looking longs there. It's Coin that I'd much rather set up shorts off of Bitcoin resistance, and that 175 looks like the first level.
All right. Yeah, look, we talked about Mara before. I really like Mara. We've talked about, trading that. We've traded it a couple times last week. We probably will trade it again here today. But I just put an offer right now on here. I don't need a 1 minute chart. I put an offer on Coinbase in case we do get up here, into like this 177, 178 area. It just doesn't seem to be any catalysts right now today for this name, but doesn't mean it can't go. So if it does go, I want to short it into some of this supply up here and then see if we can get a move back down. If you're going to short 178, which I just put it out there close enough to it, you got to give it 177.5. You got to give it at least to 179. So, take your shot there. And if you want to give it to 180, I also would not blame you. So make sure you have enough shares on board that you can hold this against yourself just in case it starts to go a little bit parabolic. Let me just double check here. Like I said, there really is no reason unless Aunt Kathy comes in. And again, we talked more about ARK. You can check out the podcast there. There was some fun stuff about Kathy, but 175, the short float is 14 right now on Coinbase, so something definitely to look at as we get higher and higher in that short float and higher in stock price. I mean, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 or so straight days to the upside, and even more than that if you just sort of take away that one little blip there. So yeah, huge moves here for Coinbase. I still think it's a short no matter what. There's the imbalances just came out for the NASDAQ, so you get a little bit of a move up there. That just popped up 30 or 40 cents. So before I throw it back to Sharif, let me just see what the NASDAQ imbalances look like. So we're going to ignore bets. Intel with a sell. So there you go. Intel was cruising a little bit, 49.10 down to 48.80. Not a big move, obviously, as volume's still pretty light today. And I don't see anything else that really we're trading. I thought that was ARM, but it's VRM. Palantir still stays there. GPS. I mean, some of these retail names continue to fly here. It's Boxing Day, by the way. Happy Boxing Day, everybody in Canada. Happy birthday to Neil. So it's always good to have your birthday on Boxing Day. Maybe people can go get you better gifts than before because they may be on sale. But I don't know if you want to go to too many stores today. The wife needs to do grocery shopping, and she's like, she's definitely not going to Walmart. I was like, Walmart?
You don't want to go to Walmart or Boxing.
Not today. And
it's not like Black Friday for Americans, but it's like it's our version. It's our version of that. Like it's similar. The day that if you don't have to, you don't want to be in the store.
No, you want to try to avoid that. But who does Black Friday shopping in person anyways anymore? I don't know. Well.
I keep seeing this crazy stuff on the news. You still see like the video of people
going nuts,
going absolutely nuts. But there's so many good deals online. I just feel like you don't have to do any of that stuff anymore, which is fantastic. Go Amazon.
Yeah, go Amazon.
Yeah, I remember Boxing Day growing up was just madness. You couldn't find anywhere to park. All right, guys, Chinese EVs all in positive territory. Lee, XPEV, and NIO. Let's have a look here because this is the new NIO that's being released here. It's called the ET9. It's $120 some odd $1,000. But I got to tell you, it looks awfully similar to the Xpeng G6. I mean, these are different cars, but they look awfully similar. It's kind of like that coupe SUV look on both cars. In either case, Lee leading the pack today, up 7.17%. NIO not far behind with the new release of the ET9, up 4.5%. XPEV, the laggard here, up 1 3/4. Not really getting much of a bounce off Friday's close. Nice look for all these guys. We know that Tesla reported the Chinese deliveries last week, 18,300 cars. Any look here for the Chinese EVs?
I hope so. Look, when you have them gapping up, I think that provides you the opportunity to be able to trade them. We already talked about NIO, so let me at least look at the one that's up the most, which is Li Auto. The issue with Li Auto is big gap up, which sometimes is a good thing, sometimes a bad thing, but it's not moving pre-market and then low volume. So this could easily fill in the gap, and outside of a breaking 36 and looking longs above, I'm not sure what you want to do with it. I think NIO's the more exciting one. Typically gives you better levels to trade. If it breaks out $9, I think 9 to 9.30 looks good. And then I like the 8.35 to 8.50 level to come back in. If it goes dip by hunting, that's just where it consolidated at the close. One last one, just very, very quickly. Roblox is at the 46 level. It closed on strength despite the crackdown in China on the gamers, and it's still holding above the 46 level. I initially thought maybe you'd get a pullback into 45 because that was the key level on Friday, and at least after that early move, but it looks like the 46 level. The buyers come in above that price. Roblox has been a huge runner, and the fact that it was just a straight buy on this stock after that Chinese crackdown on the gaming names. Makes it even stronger in my books.
Yeah, Roblox is amazing. I still really feel like it's going to work all day. So that's going to be on our watch list, obviously. All right, so NIO's not on it, but again, watch out for a $9 break. I mean, I think it's pretty easy. It's also, whoopsies, it was also the #1 name here on size. So nice little buy there. I feel like whenever you get a big buy imbalance, you could probably just dip right back in again. So I would say, yeah, look for 840, 850. But yeah, I'm going to be on Roblox here to start. I'm also looking at Google on some sort of dips, which it looks like it's trying to dip back in to 141 a little bit. But again, just watch out because the market's going to be a little bit shaky off the open, I would feel like, until we get sort of some of this volume settled out. So I like Google down here at 141. Let's get out of it if it goes too crazy to the downside. And then Intel, we're still looking at that, whether or not that breaks through 50 or does do that dip into 48. But lots happening here as we get ready to rock and roll, obviously.
Yes, sir. It's Boxing Day. We got 20 seconds to the open. Holiday shortened week, but we're back and the markets are back and trying to get this Santa Claus rally going. Day one was a bit of a nothing burger. Let's see if we get a little more momentum going into it. Let's get on over. There it is, the bell. Adara's ready to go in 2 and 1 and ring it.
All right, here we go. All right, thank you, Adara. Yeah, here we go. All right, so we're still going to watch out for Intel here, dancing around 48, 49, so not much happening there, kind of as expected. Google trying to make that move, I guess, one way or the other. Nice little move down to 41.50 and then a nice break back up. I guess we'll have to take a little bit of a 142 break long just in case this is the thing that needs to happen. But this could be a little bit of a dangerous break. And if we do have it, we'll get back out at 141.50. But here comes right in right now. Let's see if Google wants to go through 142. Its 52-week high is right here right now, man, breaking through 142.
Yeah, we're already seeing Intel do battle with the 49 level. Also, NIO starting to pull back. It's at 870, so we're not going to get to that 850 just yet. But Intel doing some battle with the 49 area could come into play a little bit faster than worrying about what's going on in NIO. So yeah, there is. We dipped under the 4880. If I see buyers step up, which I haven't yet at the 49 level, I'll look for an initial long on Intel. Now they're starting to step up. Size on the bid at 15 on Intel. 13.
All right, I mean, already. There's the 142 break, man. We're long at 142.05 right now. So as it just continues to go to the upside, oh man, like I said, I love coming in every day. And so there's a nice little move there for Google. We're only out of a third of it, so let's wait to see. I'm gonna get another piece out right now in the middle. Okay, here we go, into the 40s, into the 50s. Let's go Google, man. If the market rips, I'm pretty sure that we have this one right now. Pretty good for Google, so let's go bang to start the day off for everybody here right now. Okay, 49 break. We weren't too interested in this until it gets to 250, so we will wait for that one, but so far so good here on a nice little start for the day, man. I mean, there it is. It's a nice breaker on Google. We are now out of 2/3. We talked about that. Still could easily fade back in, so let's watch out for that. Roblox as well, coming back through 46 right now, trying to get some longs if Roblox does come back in as well. So far, little chill. Let's see if Google wants to go. It's sort of slowing down here in the 20s.
Yeah, Intel made the break here. That size that was there at 49.13, I took along in front of it 17s and 18s, got filled at 29, and then just got out when that size broke. So kind of a quick little scalp trade in there. I'll look for what I think can be next, which is some more buying in front of the 49 level, but just want to be scalping it while we're being patient. It hasn't really tested or retested those lows. Tesla's trying to get above 255, so that is going to be on watch. NIO not doing anything at all, and I think you already mentioned Roblox, but I'll just get to it. It's broken the high, the pre-market top, it's broken the pre-market bottom, and still kind of barcoding. So no definitive move here yet in Roblox. I'm just going to be sticking to Intel 49. NIO, okay, NIO's now starting to fly. It's at 892, so NIO pretty close to that $9 break.
All right, guys. Yeah, things are really starting to break around here a little bit as well. We did get a little bit of a reload here on Google up to the upside, but it is kind of struggling there. We just got, like, look at this, man. this is the thing. Like, you guys got to trade your own stuff. We talk about this all the time, but we just got along 142.04 and just took a piece out there at 25. So, you know, it's the scalping nature. It's back and forth again as well here today. The market's pretty weak, actually, to start off a little bit. I mean, it's a nice move up to 1703 and then right back into 1716. But you know what? it's kind of still holding above VWAP, so I still feel pretty strong about some of these longs. I'm going to get out, I think, if we break back down below 140, 150 and then regroup this stock. If Google does go down, I'm only in this one position right now. Intel obviously through 49. I know that was sort of a little bit of a quick one there for Neil, but for me, I'm not super ready for that yet. Let me just check out there on AMD to see what's going on. So 140, this was another key level. I actually haven't done that much work on a lot of these levels. I'm very specific on what names I want to trade today, and we've been just trading those. So far so good. NIO, people are saying, starting to go a little bit now. 9. Okay, so watch out for that $9 break.
That ARBB, we're just going to call it ARB or whatever. I don't know the name of the company there. Looks like we have an early halt to the upside. Not the $3 level, unfortunately, but 277 halt on ARBB. Indicated open is $2.90. So you are getting a bit of a halt. It'll be probably 5 or 10 minutes volatility halt on ARBB. Intel can't hold 49. NIO, I think, could make the break. I'm looking for a breakout at the $9 level. It's at $8.93. I don't know. I could always go for like a dip buy at the previous pre-market high and try to stair step it to the upside. But at this particular point, I think we want to be patient. You're holding on. Now you're breaking out of Roblox. So finally, Roblox picking a direction. It's breaking out above that 46 level. So I'll look for the 46 quarter on an entry. Give it back into 46. The pre-market low here, 45.88. That's a good area to place to stop. Intel still beneath 49 until I see the buyers up there again. I'm not going to be joining that. It's Roblox that's starting to go. It's NIO, which is trying to break 9.
Yeah, Roblox, Intel, and Google, man. The only 3 names that I'm looking at right now. We will be looking at some more, of course, as we go. Roblox pulling back into 46, and so change, I think, is a buy. I've just been getting some out here at 30 on Google, or 25 to 30s. It doesn't seem like it wants to do too much right now. But you know what? Let's put on a small position here if we can on Roblox. Let me just buy some 43s right there, see if we get something out a little bit there on RBLX. I still feel like we should be okay. But we do want to start a much bigger position if we can get back into 46. I mean, that's what we'll wait for. It's just, will it happen? I don't know. So we'll take a small one right now and see if it does give us that fill. So we'll wait for that. Hopefully it does come through. That's going to be Roblox right now. Google's still trying to go as well. ARBB, everyone, let's talk about that. So I know Neil just mentioned it. ARB halted right now. So yeah, still halted. 277 right now, halted to the upside for ARB. But I mean, our net is trying to blast off a little bit here. Let's see if it can go. Let's go Google, man. If this gets back up to 50s, then we're pretty jamming. And then Roblox still waiting for something down near 46. So yeah, 45.90 or so if we're wrong on Roblox is where we'll wind up getting out.
Rivian not doing much. There's the $9 level. Neil's at 98, so I think we're going to get this $9 level breaking. But it's got about 500,000 shares on the offer. It'll chew through that, no problem. It's done 15 million, so I think Neil's about to make the breakout to the upside. Apple not near 195, so I'm not going to be shorting that. Just got 2s on a break of NIO. Let's see if it can make that. A lot of times you'll get that quick push to 5 and then 10 on a breakout trade. They're already selling. Yeah, they're already selling. I say they, but there's already sellers at the 5 level. Let's see if we can't get past that, take some 6s and some 10s to the upside, and then just try to hold and see how far this one wants to go. Li Auto was a bigger percentage mover. NIO just doing better volume. It's up now 7% as it gets the $9 break. Again, they got some, not delivery numbers, but registration numbers is a new story, but this is just an even dollar break trade. Let's go to the desk with Adara.
Just keep an eye on Blink charging BLNK. Not seeing any news on this one right now, but moving to the upside, up almost 13%, pushing above that $4 mark. Notable that the short interest on this one is 27%, so not negligible, guys.
Blink.
We're going to still try to. I mean, like Roblox is trying to go, but it's like, all right, I'll put something at 60. Maybe we'll break through 50s and then we'll get something at 60 and be able to take a little bit out of that one. Still waiting for Google to go as well. And then I was actually looking at Amazon because Amazon's been relatively weak today. Come on. Oh, we just got Google. Okay, we just got some more Googles out at 25s. So that's good. Yeah, Amazon today down, right? So Amazon down. Unfortunately, we got this bad wick. I will try to clean this up. But when a stock is down for the day, where's the bad wick? There it is right there. And the market is kind of up, you know, this is the relative weakness that I am looking for. Although I want the market to scream, so going short on something right now is not going to be the greatest look. But we do have our outs. We have everything all planned out. So if it doesn't work out, it doesn't work out. But what about Amazon? If we can get up to 153.70, kind of this 200 period, 153.50 here as well coming into play. So I'm thinking Amazon does have some downside pressure to it today, and none of that surprises me because it's been up and away here right now, taking out 52-week highs on Amazon.
Up and away.
Yeah, what is the 52-week high on this thing? Yeah, 155.60. So you're not too far away from that right now. Wow, Google just dipped in again. Let's take some more out. As I'm getting a little bit, I'm not getting nervous, but I'm feeling some kind of ways here if this market can hold. So there it is, another out there. We have an out at 33s, then another one at 40, then another one in the 50s. Let's see if Google wants to work. The long so far so good. As we don't have a big position yet on Roblox, but it's coming close to me putting one on. So let's see if Roblox can get back into the teens here.
I just got filled for the first time in front of the quarters on Roblox. I want to add to that one. I think above that, look, above 46, it's got so much room to run on the daily. Intel found buyers again above 49, so when it broke 49.10, got in this time at 11, a little bit of a better price, just got to 49.3. So Intel continues to surge to the upside as it's absolutely flying. NIO, on the other hand, we ring the register on Intel, but NIO, it broke 10s very, very briefly, got to 9.11, and now it's battling with the $9 level once again. So if it can bounce and hold a higher low off 9, maybe look for a re-entry there. I'd say it's a disappointing breakout trade so far on NIO. It's not to say that it's bad, but I want to see that get very clean through the $10 level and then not be put back into, it's not a $10, 10-cent level on a 9 break, but it's already been challenging at that particular price. Roblox back into 46, got to watch out for that. If I short something, I wanted it to be Apple or maybe a Coinbase. Apple not providing an entry off of 195. I still think that's a pop and fade. I guess 194 looks like it could be a level on Apple. I don't necessarily want to be forcing it, but the futures are at Friday's highs. So if you're looking for a fade trade, it was Apple or Coinbase, and Apple at least is providing some kind of a level.
All right, man, we are okay. We're all loaded up right now with all the names that we talked about, man. All right, we're into a serious position now with Roblox, which is okay. Like to get some out here as, yeah, the scalping nation continues here with some money coming through one more time for all of us. So that's going to be a good one. We're at the highest spot we're at right now here, and we've only traded 3 names, so that's going to be pretty good. The only one in danger, as first of all, Google, she be ripping right now. Let's go spin that for Google. The only one in danger right now is Amazon. And like I said, man, going long, I preferred it there today, so we're long Roblox, but it's this Amazon trade that's a little tricky as we are short right now at 45s again right now. We did take a little bit out there on Roblox, still needed to go. Again, if we fade out through 46, I mean, some of it is like when there's gap, play the VWAP, and that just today not really working out on Roblox. So we'll wait to see if that can get going. We did take a little bit out there on that spike, which is pretty good because we're long right now at 11s, but you know, a break too much lower, and this is what I'm trying to figure out here, where we want to get out. We did talk about that before. My order's already in, 45.90, I believe, on Roblox. Yeah, so a little bit lower than where we were on the day's low is going to be my out. It's working. Here we go. Come on, Roblox. This is going to be a big one for me, man. If this one just continues its sort of march a little bit higher here, we could have quite the nice little win on our hands here for RBLX. So let's stay true to who we are right now and just continue to trade the names that we had on our sticky note, including what's going on with Google right now. Again, some more reloads down there, now up to these highs. We'll take another out here at 46. Come on, Roblox, man, you are really the key. We're not into too many Amazon, so like honestly, whatever it does, it does. But you know, it's definitely about Roblox for me. And Google, we're only in now 40% left on Google, which is 45 cents in the money. But hey, man, we're at the highest spot. We just need to position pending here with Roblox. Yeah,
Roblox is definitely challenging at that 46 level. It just bounced once, so I think as long as it can hold on, that's a good one. Apple 193.70 we're sitting at, so it's right underneath this resistance. I thought 94 would be the better level. We'll be pretty patient. You're flying here in the markets. You're flying up into Friday's tops. If it breaks it out, I mean, Apple's probably going to go. So I'm not going to force a short on Apple up here unless we get like the 194 setting up really gorgeously. Going to stick with the longs. Probably buy a little bit of a dip here if I can even get one in Intel as it's trying to break out the pre-market highs. We're back to the desk, I think, with Adara.
We have a penny stock getting a nice push to the upside here. Airwinds Technologies, AWIN, is the ticker for this one. They've entered into a letter of intent to form an entity with helicopter technology. They're going to own 70%, up 50% right now on the day, guys.
Oh, right there. Thanks, Adara. And again, we're going to go, I mean, you know, it is what it is. Like, you know, we did lose on Amazon. We thought that that was going to be relatively weak, so there's the short. But again, you know, it's like we are getting, and I told you that a lot of our day in the morning would rely on what Roblox is doing. So let's go, man. There's Roblox. There it is through 25. Let's see if we can get another fill. This is the highest it's been since we've had it. It just ripped up into 30s there and stopped. I don't like all this wick nonsense everywhere here. So hopefully it can continue to, yes, sir. Hopefully it can continue to go. Let's go Roblox and let's go Google right now, man. We're on one again here today. Like I said, it doesn't matter. This light volume stuff, you just got to pick the right stocks. Like, no matter what the day is, man, we're going to take 40 cents on Google, right? Maybe if it was a little bit of a different day, you could have had more follow through potentially. But again, trade the names, and it's no surprise that the only name we lost on was a name that I wasn't looking at earlier, and that is Roblox. Nike spiking as well, someone there? What's up to Chandra saying it in the chat, just talking about Nike, not that it's spiking, because it's not doing anything right there. Yeah, go ahead.
No, the only thing I was going to say for Nike is it's once again holding the pre-market low. This is what it did on Friday. Like, it spiked the low and then held on to the bottom. And so I forget about 107. I keep talking about that level, but 108 looks like a decent support level there for Nike. I just got Intel pulling back in here into 49 teens. So it broke the high again, pulling back into 49. I got 14s in there as it just held on to 10. So this needs to start put in a higher low is obviously what I want to see. Higher low holding 49 at this point. If it gets back underneath 49, I don't think I want to fight this stock at that level a fourth time, because this will be the third time we took it. I'll just look back to another price. But I wanted buyers above that price to go long. The other thing, which I actually thought could be breaking at a top today, obviously did not, ARM is pulling back. And look, obviously ARM is usually a pretty strong stock. It's been one. On Friday, it had a somewhat double bottom at 71.5. It's got a pretty big level at the 70 level. So ARM pulling back into some pretty key levels that we can look for to the downside. Roblox made a decent bounce. It hasn't really broken out that high. Once again, I feel like it's fading a bit. And Apple still can't get above 194. All right, I'm trying to be patient with it. It just got up to 90s and then put in a little bit of a failure at that price. Now is the time that I take a shot shorting Apple off the current high, at least for the first time today. Still like some of the longs in terms of looking for dip buys, but Apple was that one thing that I wanted to be fading. Well, Coinbase to a certain extent as well, but we'll try and get some Apple short here in the 70s, out at 90. If it breaks 90, look for another short at the even.
All right. Hope everyone's enjoying the show. The one thing you can do, definitely, I know there's some Bears vs. Bulls is going to be posting it up, but if you're looking for something to do right now, go listen to our podcast. Pretty fun stuff there. Happened last week. It's going to be a weekly event, so go check it out. It's also on YouTube and on any sort of a podcasting platform that you have. I don't think Apple shows video, but I think Spotify might. I don't know.
Spot does.
Spot does. Okay, so Apple does not. So you guys can go find that out. But you don't want to see the audio, video. You just care about the audio, right? All right. So there it goes. Nicely moved up to the upside. There goes Google. So so far so good on that name. But yeah, like Neil mentioned there, not so far so good on Roblox. I mean, we're going to be flat on it. Even though this is making a move down, you know what? Let me just buy a little bit more here at 01s if we're lucky enough to do that. All right, so there we go. We'll hold the level, of course, and not get long. So hopefully it has to break us. It's not
a refresher it.
Yeah, okay. So maybe we should just buy some threes then. Let's just wait. Okay, we'll buy some threes and fours. There we go. So we take out some threes, and there we go. As we buy threes, of course, you just saw me punch into that. So now we are long again down here on Roblox. Create a little bit of action to the upside. Hey, we'll get something up, but we want a little bit higher if possible on that one. We are back into Amazon, but probably not for very long because Amazon, again, does have, it seems like a seller up here, but it's not until at least 154, it seems like. That's been hit down a couple times. So let's just let it float up, see if the seller comes back in, and we'll hit it back down into the downside here for Amazon. So hopefully that will work out for us. And then there goes Roblox again. We just you know, we just bought some 3s out 10s. Again, not something that everyone's going to want to trade, but, you know, we go over to that name, we notice it, we like it. Let's see what happens here with Roblox. That's that. And then Amazon, nice little downside move. Hopefully it can comes back in. And Google's up here at 42.30. You guys are saying AMD, bang. What's up, Scott H? I hope, yeah, look at that, man. We've been looking at this. I know we talked about 140, and there it goes, man. She go boom right now to the upside. So, you know what, man? I mean, this is the thing. It doesn't take much. We'll raise the trophy here today, and it's on 3 names, and we're only 2 for 3. So it's about like being focused on what you're doing with specific names. So I did miss that AMD trade, but at the end of the day, it's like you got to trade what's best for you. And, you know, trading too many names sometimes hasn't really worked out in my favor. It has. We've done really well. You know, some days will be 7-1, 6-1, 8-2, 10-1, blah, blah, blah. But I feel like focusing more on specific names and using more shares on those names is actually a better strategy. Shout out to everybody that's watching us worldwide. We just got someone there. What's up to Langisa? What's up, Langisa? Watching from South Africa. So that's a bang on that one for sure, man. Hope everyone had a great holiday. Merry Christmas to those of you that celebrate that, and happy holidays to everyone that doesn't or celebrates anything, because it's all about family time regardless of what you're celebrating.
Yes, sir. And one short, and it's starting to work. I think we get down to the low of the day here on Apple. Look, it showed you guys the range. We showed everybody the range at the end of the day. 193.8 up here. Was able to short 70s. It does have a bottom at 193.20. And then the 2 o'clock bottom on Friday. You guys remember that 2 o'clock sell-off was reversed pretty heavily. So I respect those levels. If it gets to 193, I'm expecting a bounce. And anytime I see buying like that, like we saw on Friday, and again, the reason why it matters, just to rewind here, why does it matter that we bought up after 2 o'clock at these levels? Because there was a huge 2 o'clock flush on Wednesday that was not reversed. So when the same thing started to happen on Friday, the levels that got bought, I want to file away and put in as support levels. So 193, I think, is some support on Apple. If it's going to trade inside of a 50-cent range, I probably just scalp the entire thing. It's a strong market, and now that I'm seeing buyers in the 30s, my sense is telling me it's a strong market. I should be getting out and then only playing back and forth here. Don't hold out for a home run trade in a short when the market is trying to take out the top. That doesn't make a lot of sense. Scalp the short trade, look for a re-entry point, but then hold on to longs when you got them. NIO is still holding above 9. I just missed that dip in there at 895 getting Apple, but it's back into the high of the day, so NIO continues to run to the upside. Intel does not hold on to 49, but I still like the level. So we've been in it 3 times, scalp some, get out for a tight stop, looking for the buyers to give us some continuation above the 49s. We'll hold on to NIO. We'll look for a re-entry on Apple, but shout out to everyone looking at Unity. I don't know what's up with Unity, but it's up. Unity, obviously, a strong move above the 40 level. Highlight the daily chart right here, 41.40. It's 80 cents away. If it breaks that, you're off to the races on Unity with 50, the next resistance on Unity. So there is your double top. I think it has a decent chance to test that this morning. I'd look for a break of that level, and then buyers above there to work off of that. So Unity just got added to my list based on the fact that it's one of the strongest stocks that I'm looking at.
All right, yeah. I mean, this Unity affirms going the other way a little bit, making a movement to the, a little bit downside down to 49-ish. Okay, so just kind of on that, I don't know, it's not like a great segue or anything like that, but sort of like on that front, we're on Roblox right now, just another one of those sort of names that is a new technology and a Kathy Wood type of ARC type of name. Yeah, what's up to that? No today on Roblox, because it's going to be a positive name for us, as there it goes, man. Nicely done for me on this one. We did buy, remember we bought small there and we talked about that and what we would be doing if and when it got down into these levels. So guess what? It got down and we did the if. We bought it, man. And it's just like, you don't ever want to stand in a trade's way, but when it came back down into 46, we talked about where our outs were going to be, 45.90, right? So well worth it. Now trying to capture a little bit more of that profit on that name. We were able to get a little bit back. We are going to be red on one name, but we've only traded 3 names today. You can see Google's been really amazing, so that's been really good. Intel, probably we should already be long that name, but it's Amazon where we just took a piece out. That's a name that we're trying to fall out here a little bit. I'm glad I actually haven't been on Intel really today. I mean, if you've been getting this 49, I think that's been really great. And then you've had to hold it, I guess, 30 cents. But see, this is why it doesn't base out for me right now is like, if I go long at 49, I got to at least hold this to 48.75. You know, so if I'm going to try to make money here, that's going to be 30 cents. So whether or not you take a couple hundred shares or whatever it is, there hasn't really been 30 cents back to the top side. But if you can get it, you know, in and around here, 48.90, something like that, then I think your odds are a little bit better than that 1-to-1. So that might be worth taking into consideration. But wow, here we go, man. Let's go. We'll spin the money again here for Roblox because we're starting to get upside now, and it's starting to go. So again, another name right there for Sticky Note Nation, man. Buying Roblox, buying Google, and then buying Intel, they all would have worked. It's just Intel's kind of struggling. And then Amazon right here. This is a new name that I'm not convinced on, man. I should just double check. Should bring special guest Obi on the show and see what he's doing here with Amazon. But I'm going to be short it here against 154, and let's see if it does work. We've already taken one out there at VWAP at 60. Still need this thing to break, man. We lost about 15 or 20 cents the first time. We're just trying to make that back. So it would be nice to get this down into 153.20 where you can really make some money. But we're pretty happy. Positions, all positions pending, unrealized. We're at the highest spot we've been at all day. So when that's happening, you know, that's good. So we'll wait for that, see if these levels can sort of sort themselves out, and we just got to fill somewhere. Oh, no, we already talked about it. It was just Roblox right there. So hopefully it can get back up to the upside as Amazon's trying to make a move back down. Hopefully it can do that.
Yeah, I'm looking at Rivian actually. So Rivian, we talked about Rivian at 2360, 24 as the key price levels. Well, shout out to you, Trader Luke, because that 2360 level just held really decently, breaking it back out. 24 is, I think, the bigger level. We'll see what happens when we get there. I'll look for that like the way we're looking at this NIO $9 for the breakout potential play. If it's halfway, so it can dip right back into the 60s, and I'll just try to take that. Probably should have held on to Apple short, but the market was strong at that moment. Wicks on the chart. It just got down to 193. So this is the buy zone where on Friday you did have that 2 o'clock move arrested, and then it held that level. So if it's going to bounce, it probably bounces from here. I want to be shorting pops on Apple, and when the market pulls back off the high, I want to be taking some profit elsewhere. So I did take some out of Roblox there when it just got to the quarters. And NIO, on the way to 9.25, I want to make sure we get something out here in front of 15s and then the 9.25 as well. So I'm going to get some offers out on NIO as it continues to churn over onto the upside. Cannot trade Rivian without at least looking at Tesla, and Tesla is on the comeback trail as well. It just bounced off 255. If Tesla clears 255, I want to be long above 55, but there has been weakness above the 55 level for now on Tesla. So be very, very patient with this. As I said, holding on to the 2 longs we have. If I get into a short, it's got to be Apple. It doesn't have to be Apple. I want it to be Apple. Coinbase underneath 175, but trading about 70 cents away. And the spread hasn't really tightened up this morning on Coinbase. I'm not that eager to trade it. Usually by now, it's tightening up the spreads, but yeah, it's still a little bit wide there on Coinbase. So I think we have to be cautious with it. That ARBB, the ARB stock.
Are you ARBing it, or?
Well, I don't know if you can.
I don't think you can.
But look, it's up 270%. I don't know about chasing this. I think you had to just maybe take the break at $3 if you could get it. On the daily chart, you really don't have anything until $5 is the key price on this. There's just nothing standing in its way until you get to about $5. Maybe this 380 level looks like it could be something. So congrats if you got it. I haven't been looking at this one closely enough. Kind of wish we had. And then you mentioned Alibaba there.
Oh yeah.
This morning, kind of I guess up on that. You know what? I'm not.
We weren't really
maybe
sure.
It's sympathy for this whole. The group. I don't really know the story specific to Alibaba. Maybe it's the gaming positive news. There's kind of a little positive story there. But Alibaba holding VWAP for now, rejected 77. It's trying to stair step to the upside. I'd watch for this to maybe break the 77 level as well. So looking for some relative strength out there. I know Baba was out there and the ADRs were on the watch list, but it was a pretty loose story that was more about the gaming names, and the EVs were the 2 stories out of China, not specific to Alibaba.
Oh man, Square's at $80? What? Okay, that's nice, man. We like that stock. That's for sure up there. That's a good one. Okay, so I don't know. Amazon was good, and I still think it is going to be good. Short 80s there. We just got a bid at 50. Hopefully that will come back in. What other names you guys want us to look at? People are saying Shopify. I know. I've been trading Shopify a lot lately. So I feel like that's probably why a lot of you are asking about it. Shopify up 1%. Damn you, Shopify. Well, it's actually good. I still have some shares, but this was one that we had recently sold. I've been sort of talking about trying to raise some capital, and we've done that, but obviously stocks keep going up. So not really a good sign unless you have something else to put them into, but I am expecting that swoon at some point. All right, so Shopify, just looking at a chart here for Shop. Yeah. Well, I got to zoom the other way here.
Shut them down.
My hands are still cold coming in here. 78, 78, 50, 78, 60. I can't wait to get that. Don't tell me that's actually keeping your coffee warm, is it?
Feel it.
No, I trust you. Trust the. I just don't know if you're inside.
If your hands are cold.
Oh yeah, no. But what about the coffee?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Good.
Okay. Here's the thing. It's not.
I trust it's warm. I wasn't sure about the coffee inside.
Like it's not piping hot.
Right,
so
but
it's not like it's straight out of the machine, but it's much better. Like I waste so much coffee.
I know. I gotta go get
because once it is like lukewarm or a little bit cold, I just throw it out.
Yes,
and then I go get a new one. So Obi, because he's all about efficiency, was kind enough to get each of us one of these. And the good thing is it doesn't burn up a bunch of, like these are pretty light when it comes to energy use. So you don't have to worry about tripping a breaker.
Yeah, that's true.
As you know, Sean, a heating implement while trading, the first thing I thought about was we don't want to trip.
Yeah, exactly. We don't want to be plugging in.
That happened at our office. Shout out and Merry Christmas to Mike. I know he's watching, but he was the one that did that.
Oh, you might be watching. You never know, these guys.
That's Sean's brother. So NIO just broke 15, so we'll continue to ring the register on that one as it powers up. I'm going to hit a few of these because I was playing some Mario Kart on the Switch yesterday. And I say the Switch, it's my daughter's Switch, which she is now immediately obsessed with. She got Roblox. Sorry, no, we got Minecraft for the Switch and then Mario Kart, like literally 2 games, and she's already hooked. Minecraft she already loved, but yeah, Mario Kart is addictive as you know what, as I'm sure you guys know.
Yeah. We actually have the, I'm still waiting for the Toronto course to come through. There's Vancouver, and there's Rome is amazing, Paris is great, New York is great. We love that. We've been playing a lot of that. We played Brain Academy. The Switch is great. And my son is like a Minecraft wizard. So if you have any questions, he literally builds.
I mean, I have a lot of questions.
Oh, wow.
I'm sure, she loves it. She's all over it because kids are.
He's only 11, but he can build and do everything. He's quite amazing, as your daughter will be at one point as well. Okay, so everything's working out, man. I mean, there's not much else to talk about for me, really. We're 20 cents in the money all over. Everything is 20 cents exactly. Amazon's 20 cents short, Google's 20 cents long, and Roblox is 20 cents long as well. Like, I couldn't make this up. They're all 20 cents in the money, and we'll be getting out of it as the volume's been pretty light here, and sort of for me, as expected today anyways. I just want to hold this Amazon short as it's the one really bleeding. Thinking about, let's just get something more out here on Roblox as we go here on that one. I think I might have just took too much out as we just got double filled, which is okay, right there at 30. So far so good. There it goes. We just got it now through 29, through 30. So let's just hold on to that. We do have a lower take here on Amazon back into the 40s one more time. So yes, sir. Bang. There it is right now. Wow. What a perfect opportunity right now as we're at the highest spot we've been at all day, and we get to see a Dara again. So let's go over to the desk and see what's cracking over there. All right.
Eyes slightly to the upside ahead of what could be day 2 of the Santa Claus rally. We're on our 3rd positive day in a row ahead of this, whereas we go into this final week of trading for the year of 2023. It's definitely to the upside right now. We'll have to see how this continues to unfold if we do get that Santa Claus rally heading into the rest of the week here. In terms of individual stocks making moves, Intel actually to the upside about 2.5% after getting a $3.2 billion government grant from Israel for a $25 billion chip plant to be built there. So definitely one of note. Also, we have Apple to the downside after the ITC's ban on Apple Watch imports with regards to the blood patents was the verdict was approved by the Biden administration. Apple can appeal, but has not yet. Last but not least, Blink charging, moving to the upside here. I have the daily here. Looks like a 2nd day rally. We're up 16%. No specific news on this one. It does have a short float of around 27%, guys, so this is absolutely one to watch. Brought to you by Surge Trader, where traders can get a funded trading account up to $1 million and keep up to 90% of the profits. The program has simple rules, no time limits. Just go to surgetrader.com/TTV and use the promo code TTV for 10% off.
All right, straight up, I've got a birthday request. Hit the like for Adair, because like Adair is putting in some yeoman's work. Obviously struggling with the voice a little bit. So I'll commend you, because I've been there before, and it is not a heck of a lot of fun. So thank you. Sharif's gonna go grab her a tea right now. A little bit, we'll put some honey in that bad boy. I think we have some halls if you want something. We're all about being supportive in here, but I'm just impressed. I'm impressed, because if my voice was doing that, it's certainly a struggle. But let's get back into trading. Now, the market is trying to bounce a little bit higher here. And when I say trying to bounce, it is bouncing off the pre-market levels. I'll get to NIO in a quick second, but first things first. The market holding over Friday's top, and it just did a little bit of a dip back into 1704. So if we can hold on to that and stair step it up, you want to look back to those Wednesday levels where everything quadunked. That's about the 65 level. So I think we can get there. If we do get there, I think that's going to be a good profit-taking spot for some longs. I just got some 15s on NIO when that rejected 12s. There hasn't been a dip into VWAP to be able to reload. Roblox is still holding the quarters. That's another lower high. But let's get on over to something we haven't talked about yet, which is Meta. Meta, as usual, Meta's strong. I don't have to tell anybody that Meta's been a strong stock. There you go. Looking very good. Man, that looks like a good long. Too late. But Friday's high, 357, $1 away on Meta. Now, on a day like today, respect resistance until it's not. So if we get up to 57, maybe look for a cheeky little short. If that breaks out 57, I think it can just be off to the races. Apple, I still think this one's going to be the short, but it could not get to VWAP just now. So I'll cancel my short in front of 194. Maybe go for a short off of VWAP if we can even get it here. That'll be 193.40. This is clearly a weak stock. It's been stair-stepping down. It's the only short that I've even had this morning. And if we don't hold on to this 1704 and then maybe retest 17,000 even, you're going to want a short, or at least something to the south side if you're going to stay active trading, which you don't have to be. You don't have to be at all, but I am looking for something, and it's going to be Apple. Thank you very much, Soldier for Christ there. The $5 super chat. Salute to Adara. And here is for the cup of tea, which she is now going to be getting. Hopefully with a little bit of ginger.
Yeah, we've got some honey over there. We've got all that stuff.
We're good to go.
So, yeah, go grab some of that for sure. Thank you to Adara for filling in for Brendo here today. Obviously, Sharif doing the morning, Adara will be there, and then they're both doing the midday show. So that should be, I believe, right? Is it Sharif and Adara? Okay, yes. Good. So they'll be doing that. That should be a lot of fun, obviously, as we go. Okay, what's been a lot of fun today is just trading. How about that? Hey, what's up, Adara? All right, so 153.75. Okay, nice little downside move. I mean, I'm still trying to be like a little bit conservative here with some of these plays and trying to hold a little bit more, but it hasn't really been working out too great here today. So just for the big moves, I mean, we're fine. We're going to actually be positive. We're going to go 3 for 3. So I don't want to talk about like not being negative here. It's just waiting for some bigger moves might not be the right case. So I just actually want to look at Uber. Again, a name that we did sell a little bit because we were buying it. Obviously, we just got a little bit overextended, in my opinion, due to the addition into the S&P 500 for Uber. So we did sell some a little bit last week. It seems like it's about at the spot that we did the damage there. So hopefully it can go back up to the upside. But I just want to look at it because it's relatively weak. Again, I feel like these are the key names, man. When stocks are relatively weak, these are kind of the names that you want to look at, right? So Uber now down. I feel like there isn't really a negative catalyst for this name other than the fact that I feel, right, that it's going to get sold off a little bit because the buyers may have gotten exhausted due to that overwhelming push in the last couple weeks due to great earnings, and then again, of course, that addition. So I'm going to look at maybe a break a little bit below the 61.50 area. Maybe if we can get something like this, that's 61.35. So I'm going to be looking right here for that on Uber. See if we can get that. But 61.05, 61.35. I feel like that's going to be a good break. It's at 61.60 right now. So just some ideas that I'm looking at, anyways. Tesla as well.
There goes Rivian.
Okay, to the upside. Are you short?
Yeah,
because Tesla's ripping.
Damn it. Well, I didn't get the
Not
dip buy.
ripping.
I didn't get the dip buy on Rivian. It just broke 24 even. Was looking for something in front of VWAP in the 80s. I'll leave the order in there because if it fails a 24 break, I'm talking Rivian here. If it fails a 24 break, I do want to be buying the dip in this name. So this is 24 Friday, and then on Thursday 24.05 was like the local high. So there's room to run, even if it kind of consolidates here at 24. You got a 24.50 double top from Tuesday and Wednesday of last week. So that's 2% before it gets to those highs. So there's plenty of room to take the stairs to the upside here. Maybe I just maybe we wet the beak on the 24 long. The second I bid sixes to join this, and then maybe give it an out to 24 even, it just goes right into 9s and 10s. I'm going to leave that 6 out there, see if we can't get the long end back into 24 on this name. It's absolutely flying to the upside now. All right, I don't want to chase it. Again, risk reward has to make sense. So if it pulls back into 24, we just have to be patient with this name. Going back on over to Apple, no pull into VWAP. Thank you very much, Apple. But look at how this is condensed now. In the last 25 minutes, the range on Apple is 30 cents. So just to give you an idea what's happening, if it ends up holding that through the next hour or so, or maybe during lunchtime, then you want to scalp a trade like that. Just because it's a $200 stock doesn't mean it can't trade a 30 or 50 cent range. Apple has done that in the past. I can see it again. It's Rivian going, and Intel just broke the high of the day as well. That I'm going to get the first dip back into pre-market highs as well. So looking for dip buys in Rivian and Apple. We're going to continue to hold on to NIO. I think we can see 950 here. It just broke 920s, so I'll get an offer if it breaks 925, and then see if we can't get a dip buy into VWAP at some point, as the 9 break is now taking out the 200 period moving average on NIO on the daily. Look at that. It's been a hot minute. It's been since September this has been beneath the 200 period moving average. So eventually NIO goes up. There you go. All good things here for NIO. And then the second I hit this, I probably just jinxed NIO. So.
Well, let's wait to see if you believe in jinxes or not. Tesla, we're going to go long. So Tesla right now is, you just mentioned Rivian a little bit there, starting to go. You do want to trade names that are obviously going to be in play. We've talked about that, and it seems like Tesla's going to be one of those, man. Up 1.2% right now. As again, we've been talking about it for a long time, man, this Santa Claus rally, and it looks like it's going to be happening again, just sort of floating around, right? I mean, that is what's happening right now. And whether or not the Grinch or Santa Claus comes through, Amazon right now, I don't know if anyone's shopping on there today, but it is making a nice little move down. So let's wait to see what does happen. Just noticed that we just bounced off 30 again, and I did not have a bid. My bid was low.
I need new Crocs.
Oh, you need new Crocs? Yeah, I already got 2 pairs of those. 150, you probably get some today on Boxing Day.
I was just thinking.
Yeah, shout out to that.
That's one.
Right now, 153.25. Too bad. All right, hopefully this will come back in there and we'll be able to get some Amazon out in the low 30s. It's just right here right now. So all is well. You got out of your Amazon short? Okay, that's a good move there. Thomas, win there. Good job. Let's see if it will continue to be that thing that we want it to be, and that's a short, but it still needs to happen, right? So right now we'll also have another look at Tesla. Any dip buys into 255, I like it. I just don't see enough juice to break through 256 right now. I mean, is there juice? Yes. Sorry, I shouldn't say there's not enough juice to do that. It's just like I don't see the level. Like I would rather, man. You're on Rivian here? Hold on a second. What's up with Polestar? PSNY. I just saw that's trying to go as well. Ooh, a homemade cookie?
Aaron made these cookies.
Yeah, you know what? I love it when the kids start to cook.
It's just straight chocolate chip. There's nothing fancy. It's just a plain chocolate chip cookie. But my daughter made these. Well, okay.
Good job.
Obviously she's 6 years old.
Good job, Aaron.
She can't make it by herself, but she did the stirring, collecting the ingredients, and all that stuff.
That
Obviously,
is great.
into the oven, she's not allowed to do any of that yet.
I love when the kids really like to participate, because it's that's how they get to know what they like. Like she could love cooking and baking classes.
And you have to try everything.
It's unlimited.
That's one thing we stress in our house. It's like, look, just at least try. If you don't like it, you don't like it, but try absolutely everything. And
you're going to give her your sweet tooth.
Oh, it's too late for that.
Yeah.
Oh,
one of my kids likes chocolate, the other one doesn't, so we're okay.
Well, I mean,
man, I gotta.
That actually, if you don't like chocolate, I'm not saying like everybody likes chocolate, but it puts you in a unique camp. in the household because then you probably get all the non-chocolate treats. But I'm a chocolate fiend. But also,
Yeah, wow, that's...
one thing to keep in mind here, this market is...
You're an apple fritter fiend. Imagine chocolate and an apple fritter I don't think would match very
You know what's
well.
crazy? Is
Chocolate fritter?
On the way, I'm not making this up. We drive in today. It's a Canadian holiday, so my trains aren't running. So I drove in today.
It is.
I had to stop for gas because apparently I didn't have any gas in the Audi.
What was the gas price? Do you remember?
It was 140.9 or something like that. But there's a Tim Hortons right next to the gas station. And I'm looking at it. I'm plenty early. There's gonna be nobody on the road.
But you still didn't get one.
And it's my birthday today, and I actually resisted going in and getting an apple fritter. So I'm very proud of myself for that level of discipline. Because to be honest with you, I'm not usually that disciplined. I saw it of like, oh, I could get a fritter. It's my birthday. I'm allowed to do whatever I want to do. But I did not have an apple fritter, partly because I already know when I get home there's way too much junk food.
Yeah, oh yeah.
Like we're almost done the cookies because we were eating them all weekend. But I figured I'd at least bring you one in there. But we have so much chocolate, and we have so many of these like Reese's Pieces peanut butter stuff. It's ridiculous. But shout out to this market. Intel, I just dip bought, and I feel like it's been a tricky trade because it's gone underneath 49 a couple times. But now you're seeing strength. Once it got above pre-market low, pre-market high, I look for the pullback into the pre-market high, 35 into 45. Now we'll stair step this one to the upside, hopefully. So Roblox, Intel, NIO, still the same longs. And I don't know if I don't know, like the market's back at the high of the day. Apple's at the low, which is weird because if I'm trying to short a pop on Apple, you'd think the market being at the top would give me an entry. It's just not happening. And I'm not shorting this at the bottom. It makes absolutely no sense to short the low of the day when the market's at the high of the day. At least no sense to me. So I guess we'll back off Apple for now. Maybe a Rivian 24 on a dip will be the next trade.
Down in a little bit. I was looking at Polestar there. I just feel like some of these EV names, like I said, man, we talked about it, 77% of the time, there is a upside move in the last 5 days, which is a Santa Claus rally, and the average on those moves is 2.7%, which is monstrous, like 2.7% in 5 days.
Half percent a day.
Yeah, 0.5% a day, and we're on, and that's what we're doing right now. So it's kind of right on par. Fisker not really taking advantage of this move up, but Polestar is, man, that's up 8%, or 10%, sorry. Rivian up as well, as I just noticed.
You want to know the biggest fail of Friday?
What's that?
Paying for and not shorting Mullen.
Oh yeah, Mullen was ripping earlier though.
No.
On Friday.
Okay, so on Thursday, reverse split, Mullen went sort of parabolic. So it was early short, and then it broke out the top. But Mullen on Friday, when it came back off the open, it just immediately failed a high breakout and just sold off for the rest of the day. Now, if Mullen breaks $9, I think it could absolutely flood the downside. It's not really doing much. It's actually trying to break out the high of the day. But again, reverse split. What do reverse splits do? They tend to pull back, and that's exactly what Mullen was doing on Friday. Actually, I'm going to pay for my locates because if this does fail a double top and maybe break the lows, I might just go for the shorts once again. So Intel, high of the day, that's continuing to go. Roblox is holding out pretty nicely. It's about 20, 25 cents. It just does not want to break those 50s. And then Rivian, I was sitting at 24 on that breakout that I missed. But now that price doesn't really matter. It looks like it's consolidating above 24.10. So I might try to long this off to 24.10 for a cheeky little 8 to 10 cent risk. Maybe less.
Right. Yeah, we can watch Intel. We can look at Coin. We'll look at it. Coinbase, actually, I have an offer at 177.75. I was going to reload the Amazon short, but again, like now I'm not certain about that trade either. So, again, apologies. It's just, I don't know. The market's trying to go upside. I would much rather favor longs. So that's why I was a little hesitant to reload that, but I do understand that I probably should have.
Roblox Friday.
Yeah, well, we talked about Roblox. The reason why we're really cruising right now, remember like a half hour ago, I said like my day will rely a little bit on whatever Roblox is doing. So there it goes right there. I don't even have an offer until 58. So what did we just touch there? 44s. Yeah, maybe we're getting a little bit greedy here on that. So we'll go something like that right now. I'll try to get that. But here goes Amazon back down to the downside. So remember, we do have a bid down here at 32. I'll probably just change it to 35 because we do need a fill down here. It's come down here a couple times. So by 35, I meant 36 just so we could get the fill. And that's exactly what just happened. So spin it right there for 40 cents in the money on Amazon. We just took some profit there. So thanks for the update on Roblox. So we just took that out as well. We'll cancel our 58 right now. But so far, so good, man. The two names that we've really wanted to focus on today being Google and Roblox. Both have done real well. Look at Google, make that move down. It's a good thing we just cashed out a little bit of that one because right now it's Amazon downside and Google downside. We only have now, so Google's by far the #1 stock. It's not even close. And we're almost out of this. I have 10% left of Google. So that's kind of like par for the course for me. And are we going to reload it? Yeah. 141.90 there was where we were going to get out. So I feel like we're getting close right now to a reload spot. Let's just let this settle down over the next couple minutes. And then if it gets back upside, then we'll try to punch some longs and use some of these bottoms as our out. But I really like to see Amazon take a dump in a little bit here.
Apple just did something which might be bullish, believe it or not, which is weird because Apple's been weak all day. We just hit the high of the day on the NASDAQ, the ES. I kind of hit the high as well. But that Friday bottom at 192.95, it just wicked the low through 93, held on to 90s, and now you're seeing the buying come in. So that's a bit of a bullish move there on Apple. I will not short this at the bottom. As I said, not going to happen. Intel, I still want to, if we're going to be going stair-step up, I still like 49.30 because it's that kind of opening range top. And if it can do that, great. Maybe we dip back into 49.30. If that doesn't hold, I look for VWAP. If it breaks higher, I look for buyers above 49.50 to take the next leg up. I think we can see $50 on this move. Rivian this is the more complex one. It's starting to pull back in. I'm going to go for a long off 24.10. If I can get that, if it breaks underneath like 8s or 9s, then I just get out of the trade, look for something back into VWAP. So Rivian has been on an absolute tear to the upside. I saw some people talking about Affirm. Like 5 minutes ago, not 5 minutes ago, but at the open, everyone was talking about Affirm to the downside. Affirm is now above 50 and breaking higher, up 3% and on a collision course potentially with, it's not all-time highs, but 52-week highs, I want to say, at 52, double top at the 52 level, but now breaking out up top. I think it can get there. I like this break. Solid, steady move to the upside, probably trapping some shorts. So I'm going to get into a long on, as I choke on that last piece of the cookie, the long in front of $50 on Affirm. That's the name of the stock that I'm staring at and was choking on.
All right. We definitely like that Affirm, and good thing you're not choking anymore. All right, so 61, 65, we do have a new position alert. We talked about trying to get some Uber. It's not quite at the spot yet here, understood, but we were looking for 61.30. I just feel like you're under VWAP, you're under the 50, you're under the 50, and the 200. These are all SMAs. You're under, I mean, one's VWAP, but still. You're under, and I just think the short is okay. So we actually got double filled there, so we're short right now at 51s, and we're going to see if it can go. Next little area of fill, if we can get it, if the market does rip before we go to Adara. 61.60 or so would be an area for me to think about getting out right there, and then 61.80, get more in, and then up here 61.80 we will get stopped out actually on a break of 61.75. But now that I see that, we can change that to 80 right now. Okay, so don't take a position if you don't have an out. That is for sure. And then just another update, we are not getting long Google until sub. Oh, we almost got long. I was waiting for, I told you, 141.90. So if it comes back in, we'll take that. It's a little bit lower than that level. So as the market's trying to pull back in here, let's go over to the desk. Oh, wow, Roblox right now, 55 cents in the money and still going. So this one's a screamer, that's for sure. It's Roblox. It's nicely done off of the 200 period and now taking out day's high on RBLX. Over to the desk with Adara.
SC Works, WORX, trying to pick back up here, up about 30% after announcing a definitive merger, a definitive agreement and plan of merger with American Environmental Partners. So this one, definitely one to keep an eye on. We also have SXTP. This one was actually on the watch list. 60 Degrees Pharma announcing the approval of a study for an emerging tick-borne disease treatment. So keep an eye on this. Also some updates with FDA related meetings. And last but not least, this one's the big low float runner of the day. ARRB, ARB IoT is the name of the company. This one actually has a float of 1.44 million. So keep an eye on this name, up almost 300% right now, guys.
Oh, I do have Mullen locates. Thank you, Wayne. I just realized that he did it for me. Wayne, who's the most recent graduate on the floor, also assistant risk manager here on the floor as well. So I do have Mullen shorts. It just tested that double top. Mullen here at 1040. And there's actually a buyer refresher at 10 even. So until it's, look, if it's breaking underneath $10, that gives you the $10 level to work off of. Unless it's doing that, I'm not going to necessarily jump into the trade. But I am looking only to go short, which might mean I don't trade it all day. If it continues to stair step up, I just don't trade it, which is absolutely fine by me. So I just got the dip buy on Affirm. I'm offering in front of 51s because if it gets to 52, that was a double top on the 15-minute. So if we break at 51, I want to hold on to a little bit for the dream. We already mentioned Roblox. Still haven't gotten into Rivian. Apple, it's just hanging at these lows, man. The market just chilling at the high, even starting to pull back, and Apple can't seem to break more than 20 or 30 cents off the bottom. Man, that's weak. I thought we'd see VWAP on that failed breakdown at 193, but that little move is not taking us anywhere near to VWAP. Maybe I just wet the beak. If the futures turn and I don't get an Apple short, I'll be frustrated. So I'll give it one more shot here. It looks like it's heading up, at least into VWAP, to be able to get something in the 30s. So I'll give it one more shot to get up there. But at some point, I guess I get a little more aggressive trying to short it down here. Clearly, Apple is one of the weakest names. I don't care too much about this Apple Watch story, but the market is certainly souring on Apple, relatively speaking. Anyway.
It's a sour apple.
It is a sour apple.
Some of them are really sweet. Some of them are sour.
I had to hit that one myself, Fabian.
Wow, Fabian.
No,
okay, here we go. So yeah, man, market be falling. Like we said, we like the short here in Amazon. That's still trying to go, man. Roblox, there it is. Let's spin it again. Awesome. Right there, we just got a 57 out for Roblox, just a ho-hum 55-cent winner there. We'll wait to see if that can go in there. Of course, yeah, all the puns, generally speaking, that we'll say are pun intended. So, all right, Oracle as well. Nice. All right, let's look to see what else is happening right now. Oracle, I was looking at that one here. This is what I was looking at, sorry. I was looking at my other charts, realize you guys don't see what I see. All right, Oracle, there it is. Bad wick down again. So the reason why I was looking at this, let me see if I can edit this. I'm just looking for names that are, yeah, there it is, see? 106.05 or so. We'll just edit that. So sometimes our charts will print all those dark pool prints, and then you guys know if you're traders that some of those are important for certain reasons, and then some not. And a random one in the middle of the day down here at $100 doesn't mean much to me on dark pool wicks, and I've never been able to. No one's been able to show me any sort of statistical relevance of any of these dark pool prints. But 105.40. The reason why I just was hoping that we could get back into this area right here. I like this 106 short. It's not that it's far away. You're only 25 cents. So if we do get a little bit of a bump up right now in Oracle, then that would be pretty sweet. So let's see if we get something up into 106 or so for Oracle, and then possibly looking for a short as this market, again, just trying to take out highs one more time. Right now it is taking out highs again, So there it is. Like there's a reason why all the ideas I have are long right now besides Amazon, which is making me nervous. But we are almost out of everything here on Amazon. We only have about 25% left of that name. As the market's just kind of doing its own damn thing right now, our Tesla 255. All right. Cancel. I'm just going to cancel all these orders. We missed that one. We had a bid. It's too bad because when we talked about Tesla breaking through 255, it was right here. So I could have been long, should have been long. In and around here, 256, 255.60. But, when it went there, I actually got, I guess, greedier. I don't know. We went back to 255, just seeing if it can hold this level. And now, of course, Tesla really, wow.
This market's really
rushing some of these
Rivian's
shorts.
up 5% now.
Yeah, man. This is the rally.
Stocks are flying.
Sort of
EV
knew
recovery.
this.
EV
yeah, we talked about Tesla getting to 280 by year end. I don't know if that's going to be the truth here because we only have 4 more days. But if you go up $5 a day, kind of like where we've just gone right now in the last hour, then that's going to get you there. So we'll wait to see what happens here. I still feel like there's something. And then the other name that we wanted to look at with Coinbase and crypto, Bitcoin right now at 42.6 and not really moving. So I don't have too much to say other than Coinbase is right here at 177, and that was a good top. And we wrote down well, actually, I'm still offering, or am I? Yeah, I did not cancel it. 177.75. Just thinking if we got up here, and it goes back to, I think it was it Friday's? Yeah, right there. So Friday's level of 179. I just was like, hey man, if we can get up there for no apparent reason, then I would like to short it. So we're a little shy of that 177 right now. Wow. We just made some money on something. Oh, Uber must have come back in a little bit. So, so far so good. This is my newest position. Wow. Roblox, that's what it is. It's the Roblox net right here starting to go back up to the upside. So again, good job there on Roblox. If anyone hit the long, I like that. And there it goes, man. Roblox, another sticky note name in the money. It's Uber. That kind of is waiting around. It's too bad because I was shorting up here. But what was that? That got to 61s. Okay, my next offer was 64, so we did miss that short by a couple pennies there. So let's see if Uber wants to take down this bottom. First take 61.40 if we're lucky enough to get that bid.
Yeah, we just hit a new high there. I mean, the futures hit a new high, still stepping into the upside. I was in and out on Apple, kind of a tight short at the low of the day for about 10 cents. I don't know if I should be waiting to view up, as I said, so we'll take the 10-cent haircut on Apple and be a little bit more patient next time, although it could come in now. Intel just got to 49.74 and starting to pull back as the market is now some acceleration to the downside. Gimme always gets, I'm going to hit the bid. So we just pulled back off of that high as the market is dipping back to Friday's tops. That's going to signal an exit for me on Intel. Apple, which we probably should have held on to that short. Well, I'll just look for another reentry. Like I got a tight stop on that waiting for VWAP, and then the second it breaks, it doesn't get to VWAP. I thought we'd get that little push. Apple to me is going to be a short for sure, but I want to be trimming some longs here. If we're going to fail that high at 10:30, then something's either setting up for a dip buy, like a NIO here if we can hold $9. If I haven't taken profit on something, I want to make sure I'm doing that on the way back in. So you want to be patient. You don't want to be buying necessarily tops. Got to have those key price levels. Affirm, which we just started back into, was buying this top consolidation to that the previous level, which is it's 50-20, it's Friday's high. So I bought the consolidation above and then I give it back into that level. So there's not really anything to do until it breaks out the high of the day. I have my stop in on Affirm and we'll see how far this one wants to be able to go. So market, I think, is heading back into the downside and I just want to be an Apple short. To me, that's the one, at least for myself.
Yeah, so we'll play a little bit the other way. We'll spend some money right here on a Google long. We're now in the money 15 cents. We just talked, I mean, again, I kind of can't do it any better. I mean, we talked about where we were going to buy it. We said our exact price was 85. We just got it. There it is. Now it's 20 cents again, you know. I mean, this is, we talk about this all the time. This is real trading. Buy these dips, man. We talked about taking haircuts on trades that aren't working and trying to hold trades that are. So right there, it's a good one. And yes, sir. Google with that move coming back in. I laugh because it's like, it's not funny, but like when things work out pretty much exactly the way as it was written. Shout out to Nas. We're going to go see Adair in a minute, who I know likes Nas as well, obviously. But Amazon coming back in. I feel like we just got to buy this one, get rid of it at some point. Let's see if it still comes in, though. If it does, Google, if we can get something at 140, I mean, I'm just can take another piece out right now. This is just such, there it goes. We got it out at 01s, maybe silly. I'm going to put another offer at 15, see if we can get that. But this is what we're doing. It's been really good. It's been a really, really good day so far, and let's just hope that it continues on what's up to Boxing Day. Shout out to everybody here in Canada. Hopefully you're doing your shopping. We'll be back at 2 o'clock, of course, and then it'll be a Darren Sharif on the midday show. But for right now, we haven't talked too much about this. We do want to look at crypto a little bit more. We looked at Coinbase. I thought we talked a little bit about Mara earlier. So let's go find out how these coins are doing.
Bit of a decline for Bitcoin right now with actually $166 million plus being liquidated in crypto markets between December 25th and 26th, as we saw a bit of a drop here. So here is Bitcoin itself. We are just above that 42,500 area. We're at about 42,650 more or less at this moment. Definitely a move to the downside though on the day. This is the daily chart for Bitcoin here. When you look here at the rest of the crypto coins, more or less, pretty mixed, but more or less to the downside here. Ethereum also trading below 2250 right now, down about 2%. Bitcoin also down about 2%. Solana down 5% now, despite actually being a bit to the upside earlier today. And BNB up 11.5% right now, guys.
You get some of these altcoins will really start to go and have kind of like a mind of their own.
Yeah. The halving comes next year for Bitcoin again in April.
Yeah,
I think everyone's looking at that, and I guess the ETF for a little bit of a jolt, I suppose. But Coinbase holding above 175. Thankfully, it actually never really set up for a trade off 75. I suppose I could have had it there for a little bit of a scalp trade, but not really loving it. You're just off to the races once again, and you're very, very close to Friday's high. You're now within $1 of Friday's tops on BTC, and that also brings, not BTC, on Coinbase, but that brings me to Mara, which is for some reason way down in the drop down there, which is trying to take out only the pre-market highs. It's not even green yet. So Coinbase flying, Mara not even green, although in about 25 cents, it would get to green territory. If it goes green, I think Mara can see the high of the day. But clearly, this is Coinbase's day, relatively speaking. Back to Adara.
Just an update here with regards to Apple. Reuters is reporting that Apple has filed an emergency motion with the U.S. Appeals Court to pause that ban on the Apple Watch imports. Stock not reacting too much right now, but keep an eye on this with regards to that news, guys.
Here's the reload. Thanks, Adara. I mean, that's a issue between two American companies, so I feel like that'll get solved pretty quick. We don't have like any international trade wars there or anything. So there's the reload there, 141.80 on Google. Just took it out at 142.09. I was going to wait for VWAP up there at 19s. I was waiting there, but then when it didn't really go, I was like, nah, I'll pass on that one and wait to see what happens next. So that's exactly what we're doing here, is waiting and trying to be patient to see if Google will go. And if it doesn't, that is damn well fine for me. All right, Uber, another name. Like Roblox is really the name for me. I mean, it's really starting to work upside right here. But I still think Uber does have this opportunity to get a little bit lower than where we are now. So let's take that opportunity with Uber and wait. So that's something that I think is well worth it right now for me. So we'll wait for this move down. We just touched 45s. Was debating putting a bid there. We're bidding 43s already. So maybe we could, get away with doing that. But for right now, feel pretty confident in just sort of holding on to this. I will put another bid. Actually, we were at 43s. It got down to 43. So let's switch that, put it to 45, see if we can get a fill, and then we'll just start from there. I mean, I don't necessarily want to take 6 cents, but it's pretty much been the range since we've been in this name. So we'll watch out for that. Uber, Roblox still going to the upside, and Amazon as well. SoFi is back near 10. I'm seeing some people in the chat. Shout out to Manuel and everybody. I have not. This was a name that I told you guys we were trimming a couple of our positions, and we have been doing that. Just SoFi, I haven't. So I don't know. I feel like pretty good about this name right now. Kind of just barcoding right now between 9 and 10. Let's see if we get that solid break. I mean, this is kind of why I'm not getting out of any. But now that I see this, we have been raising capital again. I do think that the reason why I'm not getting out of anything immediately is I still think that there's a couple percentage points in the next couple of days that we could possibly be seeing. And if SoFi wants to go, I mean, the banks have been real super, super hot. JP Morgan was 163, now 168. Like, geez, like these names, man, are just, they're not stopping. So, I don't know. Like, look at the bank names. Look at JP Morgan. I mean, we talked about, again, make sure you check out the podcast. We did talk a little bit about a couple bank stocks, but wow, nicely done to the upside. Continues to work. JP Morgan, like hello. Goldman Sachs. I think it's all of them, Neil. I think the Canadian banks are a little bit below where they need to be, but all these other names are well above VWAP and well above the 50-period moving average. I mean, look at Goldman Sachs up here at 390. Another name that I bought this at like 320 or something and held it all the way down to 285 and now all the way back up. And then
Morgan's at a big resistance.
Okay, so Morgan's there. I just wanted to check out.
Morgan broke to 250, all that kind of good stuff.
Yeah.
Morgan Stanley. The 94 level is the last big level, and it's an obvious one here. I think if it gets to that price, I don't know. I'm at least considering taking some off of that. I'm holding on to SoFi, but that's just me. Again, I don't have a huge position in my personal account on SoFi, so I'm just holding on to that, maybe thinking about where I would, what would I do, or what would give me a reason to add to it on a pullback or something along those lines. I want to get to NIO very quickly here, because NIO on the daily just got to 925, and as you can see, like above 930, this is a rocket ship above 930. So if it gets to 930, I'm looking for a break of that level to give me my next exit point. That'll be at about 935, and then we go for the hold. I did miss a dip buy in there, but it is absolutely flying. So I want to give I'm going to hit this one because the market's at the high of the day. The market's green, and as mentioned, you didn't have a huge move on Friday, but you don't need gigantic percentage gains for the average Santa Claus rally move. It doesn't have to be, oh my goodness, we're up 2% every single day, but we're gliding to the upside to be sure. So finding some names to do that with has made some sense. I will shout out to Intel, which I just missed a dip buy on. Sometimes it'd be like that. There's me in front of 49.50. It's at 49.90. So the $50 level coming into play on Intel. That has been an absolute rocket ship. It's now a double up off that key 25 level on the daily chart. So rocket ship to the upside for Intel and Affirm, which was our recent entry. I'm looking for this to break that high of the day. I should be taking something in the 70s if I can get it. But the market getting to those highs. So we're only long because we got out of our one short, which was Apple. Mal G saying, I tried to tell you. You did. I was looking for the 50 level dip buy on Intel, but once it bounced off 50, it was a lot faster to go 10 cents, the first 10 cents, than I was anticipating on Intel. But it's a good one. That 50 level should be a big psychological one, and I expect some size on the offer. I might short that level, given the fact that we're about lunchtime. That's a good time to take some scalp trade fades off big highs. If you like them. You don't have to fight the market here today. I mean, holding on and managing longs has been perfectly fine.
Yep, that's what we're doing. We're managing longs and shorts. We've got both of them on board right now. We've only had 4 positions. It's still Amazon, still to the downside. I am taking that Intel break of 50. So here we go, man. Let's see if it gets going one more time. Obviously, these dip buys into any of these levels would be great. Not so much the 20 period. I might just take that off. I put it on with Max and I don't really use it. So, what we've really been using since the jump was this 50 period moving average. We talked about it for a long, long time on the daily. And then we've really implemented it here on our 1 minute. And it's really been, this market, we have one negative day, I believe, in all of December. It might be 2 negative days. That's something that, if you can see strategies and whatnot, some of them just pay off and some of them don't. And we think we found something. All right, look at this. Here we go. It's Coinbase. We're in this short. We haven't found anything in Coinbase yet. This name has been super strong. And look at this move up as Bitcoin still not doing too much, man. 42.6. But Coinbase wants to just punch people in the mouth. So Coinbase, huge move to the upside. We don't have a lot of shares on here for sure, but it is definitely working against us here as it's going back upside. Look at the volume on this name. The spread is very, very loose. It's back and forth. So I'll just take a little bit out there at 178 because not super confident about that trade right now. Where's my red? Okay, I'm still short at 75. Let's see if it does come down a little bit, but just a little nervous. This is what happened last time. I was like, I don't want Coinbase because of the spread. So here it comes down in. Let's see if it does fade out a little bit. That would be nice if it does. We'll take a little bit of profit if it comes back into the 50s because we just took 25-cent hit. So we'll see if it drops back in a little bit. It's Coinbase. We'll see if we can let this one sing a little bit. It's too bad that we took some out because right now it'll be flat. But again, I did not like the spread that we saw there on Coinbase. But here it comes in a little bit. One more push down and we should, there it is. Yes, sure. Let's go, man. Ring the cash register again on this trade. Hopefully you're not like, Mr. Loose Hands there and getting out because Coinbase definitely seems to be working out for us right now. It is not working out so far on Uber as that's just hovering, but we're getting close to VWAP. And then remember where we're going to get out, a break of 75? I actually changed that to 80, so I'm going to reassess that one. Let's see what we can do with Coinbase downside. Roblox is almost $1 in the money. That's going to be a great trade. Google's still pumping, Amazon's still pumping, and it's Coinbase the only one that is somewhat in trouble, and it's 30 cents in the money. So, all right. All right, it's 10:41. We'll get back here in a minute, but let's go check out what Adair is up to.
A lot of the sectors here looking pretty flat today as we can start this holiday shortened week, including technology services. Meta to the upside, a Stifel analyst actually talking about Meta right now on CNBC. Rest of these names more or less flat though. A little bit of strength in finance picking up here. Health technology pretty flat, a little bit more mixed in consumer services, flat for retail trade, consumer non-durables. In terms of a little bit of strength here, this side of the board we have a little bit more going on, including some strength in producer manufacturing, energy, minerals, and utilities here, all to the upside. Electronic technology pretty strong as well, with all of these chip names very much rising, including Intel, with news of that grant from Israel to build a chip plant. Apple also on watch with news that they have just appealed that ruling with regards to the import bans for the Apple Watches, guys.
All right, thank you, Dara. Wow, man, to have just trusted a little bit more in Coinbase. Yeah, this market is riled up. That's a good call on that one. Coinbase right now, just 75 cents in the money. So we'll see if we can't hit this and maybe get $1 on Coinbase as we're holding. We only have 20% left. It's too bad because we got in and out there for matches, 25. We have a little bit more than that out. So out for... That's too bad that we took that out, honestly, at O's. But I was just pretty nervous about it. So we did hold on to it. And again, just trust. Sometimes you just got to trust in what you're doing. And we should have done that a little bit more on my side there. So a little bit of a mistake by not holding it all. But hey, man, you know, we got to be human at some point. There's Amazon, nice move as well, Coinbase and Roblox. So that's about all I have. And then Uber, we said that we would probably regroup this. So that again is what we're trying to do right now on Uber. We did not get that best short, but we put an order there. We were waiting up here at 67. Everything's coming back in a little bit. So pretty much a missed opportunity for me there on Uber to get a little bit more short. But I was going to give it to 81s anyways. So in this market pulling back down, I don't feel so bad about missing it, but I would have definitely liked to have hit that one for sure. So for right now, it is what it is. We'll have to wait on this Uber short. Amazon's working to the short side. That's only 15 cents. I'm pretty happy with our current positions. This market is just doing what it wants to do right now. Hopefully we can fall back. I still feel like we fall back into the 17.040 area. So I'm looking for a little bit of a downside push here in the market.
Yeah, shout out to everyone following along in here. And I saw some people talking. I'm going to get to AMD in a quick second because what's happening on AMD and NVIDIA is kind of interesting. But Apple did get to VWAP. There is the VWAP break on Apple. Came back underneath. So with VWAP, I just got in at 31s. But Affirm just broke the 20 level. So look for that move to go. Could have scalped it, I suppose, on Affirm, but had that consolidation break. It took the 40s, I'll take the 20-cent hit. I could have had 1-to-1, didn't take it, should have done it. But it is what it is. We're still holding on to NIO is the only one to the long side, and just talked about Apple getting back into the short. But look at AMD. Big break off the 140 level. Not bad. Double tops there and is now rolling through VWAP. Look at the potential gap fill that it's got in as it's not holding on to VWAP. And then look at NVIDIA, very similar flag as that could take out VWAP as well. So you had a huge move up that is just barcoding both of these names. NVIDIA's technically is Friday's high.
Boy, oh boy.
It is now holding a support. So if this breaks 493, you could seriously fill in the gap on NVIDIA. Meta starting to pull back. Adding to Apple is going to make some sense here. And Intel didn't get to 50, but it came pretty darn close. I could have had like an 88 short maybe, but I wanted that to get to actually 50 on Intel. We're back to the Apple short trade at least, and we'll hold on to NIO because I don't think it matters if the market pulls back. The Chinese ADR second half of the day can kind of do its own thing.
All right, there it is officially now. Took a while today, but there's Coinbase. It's really too bad that we got out, but we still got it. It's still $1 in the money. Still going to be a top stock there today, as we're not going to have any negative names on. That's pretty good. Here today, we'll wait to see if Coinbase could still be negative. We're not getting out of it, so let's not sort of count our chickens before those hatch. But look at that. There's another reload right now. Let's go, man. Let's just go. Shout out to Hydration Nation. Shout out to everybody. Make sure that you get some props up there as well, and to those out there that are helping you, no matter who it is, Neil, myself, Sharif, Adara, anybody you're doing yourself, anybody, because yeah, it's a tough game. There's Amazon. Nice little move to the downside. We have been taking some out. We just just average it in because our out was going to be 80s, and it came pretty close to getting out. So we took some 75s there on a nice move up, and we just got to fill down there at 61. So we're sort of trying to like empty out our clips a little bit here. Obviously, Coinbase, if we can get this 176, we'll do that, man. Looks like it's coming in right now pretty quickly. So hopefully we can get that. It's $1.50 in the money. It is what it is. This is what we do. It's just too bad that I took a little bit out. But hey, a positive name's a positive name. What are you going to do about it? So that's going to be a good one. Hopefully it can fill out. We'll wait for that. Amazon making a move, and it's really just I'm wasting too much breath on a lot of things, and one of them is going to be Uber because it's not moving, and we're only short here at 51, so we need this to come down a little bit. I'm just debating getting out if and when it does come in, and then I'll be mad that we did miss the ultimate move down, but there it is. Remember I was saying up here I thought the futures could come, so we just called the 20 handle move to the downside, by the way. We said we thought we could get into the 40s there, so I guess we called about a 15 handle move, but tough to take it unless you really believed in it. I'm not trading the futures here, and why would I? I mean, I'm going to stick with really what's been printing. Like I said, it's been a super successful December, man. And it's been going both ways. I got in trouble from the chat for always being bearish, and then the next day I get in trouble for always being bullish. It's just, I trade the price action, and honestly, whatever happens, happens. And it's been a really, really great month and a great October, November, and December because I've switched over the mentality. So I feel like you got to have that Mamba mentality, and we have it. So that's what you got to have right now throughout your journey as a day trader, and just be confident in what you're doing. That's the only way to win. Otherwise, you could never level up your shares. You have to be confident in what you're doing, or you're just going to be some of that 99% who fails. So level up your shares, get a strategy, and when it happens, hopefully you'll be able to sort of see the light. And then the stocks will also continue to trade properly for you, because in what works this month may also not work next month, probably won't work tomorrow. So stay confident, keep your chart reading abilities going there, and find something that you like. And, we've been able to do that and have conviction. I think that's right, Patrick. Thank you, Comp SRX1 as well.
Patrick Langlois? I always try to pronounce that name correctly, but I always get it wrong. So apologies in advance to you, Patrick, in the chat. Our Patrick not here today. A lot of traders at last week, so take a little bit of time off, but it is a Canadian holiday, so the floor will be a little bit, less full. That said, it is a regular full week. There's no half day on Friday. You're essentially going to get normal trade. When there's lighter volumes, that just means you got to be a little bit more patient with your moves, and you might not see the same kind of volatility, but there's still going to be trading opportunities in there. So again, in talk about being patient, I waited for VWAP to get in there on Apple, but you got to respect, if the entire range is 40 cents top to bottom, when it goes the first 20, going to take profit on it. And I just got a dip buying into Intel at 49.50. We said we like the 49.50. This time, it does immediately snap back up to the 60 level, but it doesn't scream back up to the 60 level on Intel. So up 3% this stock. It's been a rocket ship. It does have that catalyst there today. Whether or not, I don't think it's a gigantic piece of news, but it was enough for it to be up in the pre-market. If it doesn't hold on to 49.50, I think I wait.
Oh, wow, it dropped.
There on Intel. But it is the chips that just started this, not started this, but it started to roll over, which is why I'm going to get out for a tight stop on Intel, because AMD broke VWAP and just got under. There goes 50 on Intel. Going to jump out because you're seeing some weakness in the chip names come back in. That brings me to ARM. I might be a little bit late on ARM, but ARM just failed pre-market highs. So if it holds VWAP, this could be a breakout to all-time highs on ARM. Or you just be very, very patient, wait for a retest, shorter with a 10-cent risk. But this is all-time highs that we just failed the top of on ARM, which should be on our radar. And NIO just going to hold on. Just be patient with this one. It's been a nice stair step up since 9. The next step up, I think the 9 quarters goes, and we'll get that 935. But holding this pretty much since it broke at 935. Let's go to the desk with Adara.
So we have the DXY here taking a move to the downside after being more or less flat on Friday here. This is the daily chart. So as you can see, we are moving a bit lower, trading around that 101.60. Earlier today as well, we did get the S&P Case-Shiller housing price index composite. So for October, we saw an increase of 4.9% year over year. This is actually the largest year over year increase for the year of 2023. So just something to keep an eye on here with regards to the economic context of the US right now. Also of note, we have the the USD to the JPY, so this is Japanese yen, seeing a bit of an increase today after the Japanese yen got some economic results coming out of Japan, including a lower CPI and core CPI than expected over the last few days. So a bit of a move up for the USD against the JPY, guys.
What's up? Finishing the last piece of cookie. Thank you for that one. Mr. Roberts, it's now $2 in the money. It's Coinbase. Damn it, we could really be through the moon, but we are not, because we did get some out there as we took once and now in. So if we don't take anything out, we'll actually be flat on Coinbase, but we should take something out very, very soon. I believe that we will do that one. Shout out to everybody. I want to say a shout out. Sorry I missed. I know you, Brendan, went out with Mr. Westermeyer for dinner, so I want to say sorry I was able to miss that. But I do want to say thank you so much to you, my friend, as well, because you mentioned that you loved the podcast and you appreciate me coming in last Friday. No problem. I was okay. I appreciated it. I mean, I'm going to do things for you guys as it goes. It just happened to be that my daughter had a game on the east side as well. Wow, there it goes. Right now, let's go, man. Shout out to Max. I have no idea where this guy is, but right now we're $3 now in the money $2.50, in the money on this Coinbase trade as it continues to make a flush. Nicely done into the downside here as the market is definitely coming back, and we are going to be at the highest spot all day for us right now. Obviously, as this move is coming back in now, $2.30 in the money. I mean, we talked about this. I had this Coinbase trade sitting there, and that's why I got hesitant on it. Honestly, this happens to me all the time. A stock will come up to a level, I have an order sitting there, and then I get nervous about sort of the structure of the trade, and then I punch out, wish I did not. But right there's Coinbase. Nice move down right into VWAP. We need to take something out here for sure if we're able to. So let's wait for one more flush, take the fill. They're on it, and there it is right there. It's $2.50. There's the out right there on Coinbase. So far, so good on that one, man. And yeah, we're cruising. I mean, I don't know what else to say. Amazon's been great. The only one that we just got out of some Google. Did that fade back in? Yes, it did. So Google, again, my number one stock here today by far is Google. I'm up 4 times Google than any other stock. And well, that's going to be in question, but 3 times. So there it is. Out. One last try. We did not reload it as the market is falling back in. We just need Uber and Amazon to go, and then we'll be all good. But for Coinbase, that's it right there, right down to VWAP. We'll like that. We like it. We have Brian Shannon on tonight who will talk all about a VWAP, and that's anchored VWAP. So we'll do that, but I'm going to tweet at him right now because that one right there is 177.75 right down to 175.25. That's 250. And again, make some money. It's going to be a top stock here today. Is going to be Coinbase. Actually, it's going to be number 3 right now. Google, Roblox, Coinbase for me. So that's what I'm doing right now, and we'll see if Uber can join the party, but a pretty good trade there on Coinbase.
Yeah, we just made a decent pullback in this market, and guess where we bounced? We've been bouncing pretty much off of all of the key levels from this morning. This is why you can go over the futures. You don't have to trade the futures, but you do want to make sure you go over them. We talked about Friday's high at 170.40. That's where the consolidation was back into Wednesday's high at 60. And that last little dip took us right into pre-market resistance at 20s. So every 20 handles in the futures, that's the reason why we go over these levels and why they're going to matter. Shout out to Mara here because Mara never broke the highs. Coinbase was flying. This stock has been red the entirety of the day. So it's only 3% to the downside, but if it can't hold on to VWAP, it's got $1 to the downside. That's another 4%, 3.5% to 4% that this stock could fall. Obviously, I'm in one short, and that's going to be Apple. I'll get to that in a quick little second. But if you get the range, even just the range here gives you 2% into the low on Mars. So I want to see this at VWAP throughout lunchtime. That's going to be a key one. I mentioned getting out of Intel at the 50 level. It dipped right into that pre-market breakout price at 49.3. So again, I was in at 53, out at 49, but the reason for that tight stop is so that you don't just lose an extra 15 cents. The move went like 10 pennies to the upside. If you lose 15 cents to the downside, then it doesn't make any sense. Sure, it might bounce off the bottom here, but risk to reward, that doesn't make sense. So I like VWAP here. I love the fact that VWAP is going to correspond with our original pre-market high take, and then our dip buy back into 49.35. So I think that's the area to work off of on Intel. I think we're pretty much sailing, at least for now, on NIO. It's holding a higher low here, so I'm going to cancel the VWAP dip buy. If it holds the higher low, I'll look for a break of the 930. I think 930 to 950 is going to be the big one. And just to recap on NIO, 930 is the October high. Once it breaks that level, 50 psychological, and then $10 is the next level up. NIO, 9% to the upside. This, Li Auto, these are the big movers in terms of the big gaps to the upside, although, wait a minute, no. Never mind. Li Auto was stronger than NIO. Now it's just a NIO story. I didn't even realize Li Auto giving it back. So it's a NIO story. That's why we have this one long. Always going to appreciate it. Oh, and shout out Snow Chief. We thought Nike, I mean, it's not necessarily breaking the low of the day, but day 2, still no rally for Nike. It's holding on to 107, but just barely. So you had the gap down. Anytime you get a big gap down on earnings, I'm looking for it to consolidate a bottom and then break out of the consolidation. It is just chilling out on these lows, unfortunately, for Nike. But it's only been a couple of days. I still think this one can hold this. If it holds a low, it's got a huge gap to fill if it can just break out the top. Sometimes that setup takes 3 days. Sometimes it takes a week. I've seen stocks be down for 2 weeks, barcoding off a big gap down, and then they break out. So not all things looking rosy, but that doesn't mean it's over for Nike. I think they're fine probably in the long term. Just got to be patient when you're making this kind of earnings bounce play.
Yeah, I was thinking about the market as well. It's like I just don't know a catalyst right now that's going to bring this market up or down heading into the new year, other than this rally that does happen. So we're just going to wait to see if it works itself out. And then the theory behind what's going to happen this year, in my opinion, is that everything's up so much that I don't feel like anybody would be in their best interest to start booking profits right now. So that's why I do think, for taxable reasons, I do think that there's going to be a pullback in mid-January. We've talked about that a couple times. I'm going to wait for that. But for now, I'm going to get out of something here if we can come back into 60 or so. I actually just put a bid at 58 right down here into VWAP for Amazon. It's really the last position that I have any kind of a worry on. We're almost out of Roblox, as I know it touched a high. I mean, I should always stay in things a little bit longer, but what are you going to do? I mean, you know, you get out of Coinbase there at the bottom and you like it, and you get out of other names and you don't at certain levels as well, right? Like Google hovering around, I don't think that's going to be a trade. So let's just wait to see if we can get Amazon pulling back in. We're under the 50 period. And again, remember when we were up here, I mean, you'll see maybe Sharif hop into some minis and stuff like that, but like, that was, we had sort of thought about that going up here at the 60s into 40s. Not only did we call that 40 move, but it went down to 25s. But you know, you got to be short in order to cash in on it, so it doesn't matter. Amazon, Oracle, let's check out Mara. Again, we already, look guys, I mean, you could see all the trades I put on. You follow me at Trader TV. Sean, oh yeah, make sure you do this. I don't see her in today, hopefully the day off.
Hola, like and subscribe today.
You know, meaning like hopefully she's not sick or anything like that. But there it is right now for Kat normally behind us. But we do have everybody else is here. Brendan's on holiday. He'll be back on Friday where we'll be filming episode 7. That should be fun coming through as well. But yeah, right now I guess it's just Apple for NIO, long NIO for NIO, short Apple, Roblox, Amazon, and Uber for myself. And I think I'll just wait in this Uber trade. We already have our targets. Mara bouncing off of 26 right now as well. That's had a nice move back in. So
don't sleep on SoFi.
Oh yeah, that's right. We looked at SoFi.
SoFi, what's interesting is SoFi got to $10 and I was like, man, there's no size on the offer at SoFi at 10, so I didn't short 99s for the scalp trade. And then it does a nice move. It got right to 99, pulls back in. That's about 5 or 6 cents, risk 2. So that's really not that bad, but it's stair step up. I guess we look for a $10 break to start to come into play. If you get a $10 break here and it goes to 10.10 or 10.15, I think that's pretty good. Just remember, the last time it was up here, it failed the 10 break at 10.15, and that was right at an open. So if it does the same thing, I don't think you want to get caught not taking profit. So it's at 97. I feel like this could come in the next 5 minutes or so, so I want to make sure we got this one to your attention. Although a lot of people have been looking at SoFi and been talking about it pretty much all day long. It is 11 o'clock. Let's get to the midday. As I said, we'll be back at 2. So far, so good for the Santa Claus rally, at least day 2 of it. But let's get on and learn to trade with the professor and Adara.
What is up, beautiful people? Welcome to the Midday Show. Today we have a special lesson, but before we get to that, that is your girl Adara. I'm Sharif, and we are brought to you by